Welcome to MaTeIRia's Hard Pity podcast, where pulls get real, games get deep, and pity hits hard. Well, welcome to episode 1 of my podcast series. I have a special guest, obviously, today as well. For episode 1, none other than Sterby, aka Sterbbs, how I like to call him. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. So it was actually kind of funny because I just randomly decided to hit Sterby up today and say like, yo, let's record a podcast and see where it's going, right? Let's talk about the state of the game for Etheria Restart. And also for the people who might not even know, Sterby and I know each other for quite some time now. We go all the way back to the dark days of this life. But you know what? Let's not talk about this game.
Dude, I'm telling you that game is where you actually made your real friends.
Dude, right? It's insane. It's insane.
Because that game was so fucking garbage. I'm not gonna lie to you, but the friends you make along the way is what matters.
Yeah, there was that game where it had ups and downs, and then at points it had just only downs. I didn't know that you can't even go that deep. That was the funniest part about it. But you know what? Today is not about this light. Today it's about Etheria Restart. Thank God. Thank God we are out of these dark days. But yeah, so we have a couple of topics we want to discuss today. And the first topic I think we want to discuss here, or I want to discuss with you, Sterby, is something I didn't see really people talk too much about in general when it comes to Etheria Restart. And it is launch day versus now. Okay, official launch is on the 25th with China and so coming. But you know, well, I mean, but like our launch compared to where the game is right now. I just want to listen, like, I want to know your thoughts about it.
Now, I was going to say this when we were talking about this, so I'm just going to add this here because it makes sense. M and I call him M, we go way back in hell. Okay, we have been through hell. This is not hell. I can promise you what you're living is a grass full of lilies. The grass is actually green and you are all having a good time. We have actually been through real hell. Now,
True.
with that out of the way, we can now talk about the launch and now. Sure, I played the beta. Did you play the beta, Em?
I played for like 3-4 days because I know some of you guys really grinded like the 2 or 3 weeks for how long the CBT was active. But I was the type, I just want to go in, check out the game, just try a couple of things, just get a rough understanding, but without playing too hard to burn out, because I'm the type of player, if I invest a lot of time into a game, even though it's a beta, I know actively in my mind it's a beta. But if I spend a lot of time doing all that and then I go into the official launch, I'm like, bro, I have to do all these things again. I hate that stuff. So I didn't go super hard in the beta just to get a basic understanding.
Yeah. So I played very heavily in the beta because I saw the EWS qualifiers and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try now. I just played super hard and I was like, this is the one time I can just fuck my account up, right? Just to play EWS, because when a real launch comes, I need to play a bit more careful, right? With your resources and everything. So I decided, all right, I'm going to play real hard. Did that, qualified, cool. Then the launch happened. And when the launch happened, I knew what I needed to get. Sure, there was hiccups, okay? If a new game doesn't have hiccup, you're playing something, you know, some fantasy in your dream. Let's be real here. Every game goes through this launch phase where, you know, oh, it's perfect for 2 days. Wait, why you do this? Why is this wrong? Why is this wrong? Why is this wrong? Happens. I never complained. I was like, this is nothing. This is nothing. They will fix itself. Just relax. Just relax. Launch day happens. You're a business. You're looking at all the metrics. They can't communicate everything with you guys, right? So no communication, all that kind of stuff, out the window. That was not for me. But the launch was not as smooth sailing as it was, granted. But then again, they were taking a lot of feedback because the feedback just keep coming and coming and coming. Understandable.
Yeah.
If anything, the launch is what, you know, forged what we have now.
True.
Okay? Because everything that we have mostly asked is already given to us. Okay? What we are asking for most of the time is just faster progression. But in the grand scheme of things, you are playing a game that wants to, you know, be here for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years. Summoners War, 11, 12 years. Okay, and if you get everything now in the first 5 days, because that's what we were saying, 5 days, I want to clear Inferno already.
Yeah.
Then the game is no longevity, and so they have already mastered out all the progression. It's a matter of whether you can stick for this long or not. Okay, at the end of the day, it's a PvP game, and usually PvP games have a very long lifespan, have a much longer lifespan than PvE games. So now that we are officially ending the beta, I think the game is going in the right direction. We are getting all the good stuff that's coming to us. LD selectors coming, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the next 2 weeks that's gonna come. So I have no qualms with this game, to be honest.
Yeah, I also kind of agree with your sentiment right here, because I also come from background playing so many different games. They were also hiccups every single way. Dude, I even remember, like, the only thing I can say which is hard or was hard in this game, let's be honest here, and I think that was a, valid criticism of the game, was the PvE was ridiculously hard. Like, on launch, because you also have to keep in mind, like, Plume didn't exist, Nymphonia didn't exist, Gatsby, all these units we, like, over time, we know, additional Yali did not, we didn't had Yali, right? We didn't had Lilium, but we did had Ditting, saved a lot, we got that Ditting, not gonna lie, we would have been in a right, but generally, we had it a lot tougher and launch, and because over time we also had to get lettuce, the economy and everything, that was an issue at the beginning, but over time they worked on that, and that is something I always look at games, especially like in gachas, is are they actively improving the game or do they not do anything? They might need it to take a little bit. Yeah, actually,
you know what, I think the grind was always going to be there. Let's be real here. The grind was always going to be there. I think the problem stems from when we went from Hell 4 to Inferno, there was no warning sign saying this is fucking difficult. I'm just saying. True. I think that was the problem. Yeah. Right? That's the first problem. The second issue that maybe it was an issue and they actually acknowledged it was that they released Inferno too soon. If everyone was at Hell 4, I think it was fine. Because in the first, 1 week, 9 days, we could have already done Hell 4. Maybe 1 star. But we could have already done Hell 4. But Inferno was a next level beast.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Granted. But at the end of the day, we know that the grind was always going to be there. But maybe because they didn't give us that warning, number one, that Inferno to Hell 4, that level gap is like going from level 100 to level 560. That gap was massive. Yeah. Or they just released Inferno too soon.
Yeah,
right. That's a hiccup. That's a hiccup.
That of course is a problem, but I feel like the only reason why I feel it was hard, not gonna lie, is like if I compare it, for example, to a game like Summoner's War, which this basically, like, Summoner's War was legitimately the first gacha I ever played. Dude, it took me a month till I was able to farm GB10 back then. GB10 took me a month. Like in Etheria, even though it's like Dark Souls level difficulty in terms of their PvE content, I was able to farm the hardest dungeon, Inferno, actually in 3 weeks. So I even had a shorter time span. Like, my progression was a lot faster than, for example, like in Summoner's War. But the times changed over time and stuff like that. But I think the problem which came in with the Inferno difficulty was the teams were just so limited to like 1 or 2 specific units. Like, that people were complaining not having Lily was a valid complaint, because let's be honest, it was a night and day difference, especially with the gear you had to get because you also, it's not like in this game it's like, oh, just farm your modules, but next to your modules you also need the shell. So you need a combination of 2 different systems you have to farm and combine together to get a decent build. So it's not like you need just to farm one thing to get a decent build, but there are 2 separate things you need to farm and combine in order to farm things. Because the Inferno difficulty, I'm not sure about Hell 4 anymore, it's such a long time, but like Inferno difficulty is a combination. You need the gear from the Hell 4 and you need your Inferno shards and combine them and get the right build to actually tackle that mode. Before that, otherwise you will have a rough time.
I think this is something that, you know, we can talk about. If we were to go back in time, what we would have done. Because we, especially though, you know, those people who never really played this kind of games, they just think, all right, we'll just farm modules, that's it. And then they completely forget the shells, and then they go, all right, maybe I need the shell. Then they go to shells, then they the module. Then it's just that balance, right? Even I had that problem, you know, especially during the beta. I was always just, you know, farming Doki because speed is king. We've played turn-based games. I come from, you know, E7. You come from Summoner's War. Speed is king, right?
True.
And we always go, all right, it always comes from the gear. But little did I know that all your speed comes from mostly your shells, because your shell is literally 60 speed. Right there. And so if you have 60 speed there and you get a 35% speed boost from that 60 speed, then you have speed. You know?
But also imagine rolling plus 20 on a actual shell that matters for your comp, like a codex or something. But that's a different story for later. I feel like we need to discuss that. But
I personally don't have that problem. I personally don't have that problem. I have about 35 shells at 20 speed red. So I'm good in that department. My where I'm lacking is my gears now, because I focus way too heavily on the shells.
I got like a lot of red speeds, like a ton of red speeds, but I got like maybe 2 with plus 20. That's about it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And
like,
I have like 35 reds, all 20 speed. But I was like, I can't make my speed because my Doki shell is missing. Mod check.
Yeah, my majority is sitting at like 19 and 18, but like 20, I can't get it on the real, like the real ones you need for PvP, right? When it comes
at least it's not 16. At least it's not 16.
I have 116 on a Jackal God that I'm not using on that Bloodbuff Bulwark that's just sitting there and does nothing for me right now. But people are,
you know, when you roll a red and it rolls to 16, you're like, I really don't want to re-roll this, bro.
Yeah.
I really don't want to re-roll this.
I super feel this. But yeah, for this topic in general, now when we discussed launch versus now, right now where this game is heading, I feel like it got a lot of easier, especially with the adjustments they made over time. Now we got new shells as well and stuff like that. But overall, what are your thoughts about the current state of PvE in this game?
Current state of PvE?
Yeah, current state of PvE. Where do you see PvE right now? Where is it heading to?
Do I say this?
And how do
Free Plume?
And how do you feel about and how do you feel about PvE? Even though as a PvP player I know, but still it's a cycle. It's a cycle of both at the end.
Free Plume, I will say you probably needed a longer time to get yourself into, you know, a nice rhythm to, you know, farm gears. Like it took me about a week and a half-ish to really, you know, knuckle down and get, you know, the nice Wrangle runs going. And when I say nice Wrangle runs back in the day, it meant you can clear it 10-0, but then you have a random run where you go 1-9. Right?
Sure.
Post Plume.
But also don't forget there is that. Yeah, but also don't forget there is that minimizing bug you have. Do you know
what minimizing bug?
Do you know about the bug that the game has actually that is still not fixed?
No.
What game is it? Yeah, in Etheria, it doesn't matter what you farm, okay? No matter what you farm, right? When you minimize your farm, right? You do your 10 run auto battle and then you minimize, right? That's what you usually do. Your run can fail. For whatever reason, you don't even know why it fails. Like it just randomly stops and then just starts a new run and it counts as fail. But actually you wouldn't have failed the run. Did you know about that bug?
Oh, I didn't.
That is actually...
I didn't know that. I know that if you play on your PC, you minimize and you go onto your phone and your phone's not optimized with all the battle settings, you can fail. Yeah, because it takes the battle settings on that device that you're playing.
Yeah,
I know about that one.
That is a different story, but I can give you an example what happened. So it was during the last 4X event or 2X or whatever it was. I had I'm farming investigation for XP because I want to get all my units to level 50 because I don't want them to sit at level 1 all the time. So I have my single Messiah setup with a codex piece so he can do 2 waves as free, and that's about a 10-second. He does enough damage, kills everything. Everything works fine. I minimize it. I look at it, 10-0 fine, 10-0 fine, right? And then at some random point I click at it, 0-4. I'm like, what's going on? 9-1. How the like it is not possible to fail. It is legitimately impossible to fail, but other people already told me there's like that bug when you minimize the game, that there is a chance that your run fails even if it's not supposed to fail, because something, I don't know, with the game files, whatever it is, it just stops your run basically and just starts a new one or something like that. So you actually, when you currently, you can never achieve a true 100% save team, because the game just cucks you and just decides to, yeah, no, you're not getting these two. That's also sometimes what happens.
I personally haven't felt that. I always thought my Rango runs was just shit.
Yeah, that adds to the experience, you know.
Yeah. So I actually never experienced it, because post Plume, I've never had that problem. I'm always 10-0. Always 10-0. Nice. Everything is 10-0 now. Everything is 10-0 with Plume now. So
true.
Actually, it's not just Plume. It's Plume then 4-0, really.
Yeah, true. Yeah, same for me. I also optimized my Rango team and stuff like that. It's now it's actually, so I'm using 3 dark units for Rango. I don't even care at all. Like, I don't care. I just yeah, I'm just throwing in Lily, Lilium, Plume, Nymphonial, and then like Lilium does 3 hits and Rango's dead.
We all know that this point of PvE was going to come.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Just that when our journey there was just fucking disgusting. That's about it.
True.
You know? And that's also because we were basically the beta players.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
No matter how long we were just the beta players, right? And we know that when I was looking at the Chinese Bilibili Q&A, stuff like that, they did say that the players, the developers are hardcore gamers, and they just wanted, shit to be fucking difficult. And so we just ate the brunt of it, and then we said, no fucking way can we, survive this. And I think the China had, the plays as well, the play testing, and then they realized, okay, maybe we just need to tone it down a little bit. Let's drop Plume, let's drop Nymphonial. Enjoy. 100%. And now everyone has Nymphonial, everyone has fucking Plume.
Gatsby.
Your life is so easy. And then LD Selector coming too with Lily. It's too easy now. PV is too easy now, to be honest.
I don't know. I actually have to disagree here with this take. It's not too yet. Yes, from like objectively, yes, it becomes a lot easier than it was before. Sure. But I feel like now with these changes, it is definitely a lot more accessible for people who now start the game fresh.
Yeah, for people who are starting now with, all these new units, I agree.
They have a lot.
We didn't have it.
Yeah. They have a lot of a smooth experience, which is good, right? It is good because at the end of the day, you saw like how many different outrages we had, and people were complaining and stuff like that. About like valid complaints that stuff is too hard in this game. I'm not talking about like AI art complaints, because that's like, let's not talk about that. That's just cringe. That was just cringe as hell. But yeah, when it comes to that, they have now a lot of a smooth experience, because they know, okay, let's use I pick the Lily from my selector. If I get no Plume, if I get like a DPS, you are set for all the dungeons. You are good to go. And they have a smooth experience, steady experience, where they are able to farm their Inferno. They can farm their shells. They can farm their thresholds, and they stick more to the game. Instead, they just hit that, you know that there will always be like the struggle, the wall they will hit because of progression. Okay, I can't just force my way now into Inferno. I am forced now to go into Shell Dungeon and get these shells first before I can actually farm this and then get back. That is one thing in terms of getting like hitting a wall at first step. But it's a different thing what we had, which was for some players at least that did not have every unit on their account, which was they hit the wall, but there was no chance for them to overcome the wall because they lacked the roster to ever overcome the wall. And the only information they get from the game is from us content creators, when we show like, this is how you farm this dungeon, this is how you farm this dungeon. That's why all these, for a PvP game, all these PvE videos blow the shit out of the water when I made like, oh, use this I don't know, Doki team, or use that 100% safe team. Do all these videos that they're getting clicked because people look like, oh, is this maybe a comp of units I have in my account which I can use, right? So this was just a big thing, but now for the people who will now also start with the China launch, Korea and stuff like that, and also with returning players also, right? They have a lot, like 100% way smoother experience, and also while they're playing and progressing, there will be already a new banner coming out with 2 new units, and who knows what they do, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we started with 54 characters, I think. I can't remember. It's around the 50 zone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
true.
how many characters we had. Now we have 68. You're starting the game with 68 units. It's good and bad. Number one, it's good because now you have the units accessible. You just got to pull for it to clear the content.
Yes.
But then again, you also have to pull the unit to clear the content. And the roster is now bigger. That means your permanent summon is going to be longer if you're trying to get all the units.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, at least now you have the option. We didn't have the option. We had to play with what we had, and we had to go from there. And I think the main problem there is because when we didn't have the options, we also had to, fight RNG in terms of like going to the Shell Dungeon and getting the right, White Fang, for example, the right artisan.
Yeah.
Now at least one of the 2 puzzles is fixed for you, right? You just need to get the unit. The unit is there. You just got to summon for it.
True.
But we didn't have that.
I think also we can also here jump to the next topic, basically, which first was the general view of where PvE is right now, but is what improvements and content would you like to see for PvE moving forward?
I think the way PvE is supposed to be done for a PvP game is it's a quest to get more resources. Okay, it's not supposed to be, Dark Souls level difficulty where you have to pull out like your entire head, go bald, just so you can get that tofu. Okay, but it should be challenging enough where you might need to retry 4 or 5 times. Okay, and a good example here actually is, have you cleared your AnySync?
Of course, I'm 60. I'm completely done.
Okay, Rango in the AnySync was a good one. It wasn't too difficult, but it also wasn't too easy. I just had to retry like 3 or 4 times to make sure I get the right sequencing in. Once I understand the mechanic, it's not too difficult. Like the one that was like really fucking difficult was Shadowrunner. That one was an RNG fest for me.
Shadowrunner was an RNG. Shadowrunner was fine.
That was a fest. Aparte was also a problem for me because I just couldn't get the right movements until Plume came.
Dude, Aparte was the final boss. I'm not gonna. Aparte was by.
It was the final boss for you, okay? Shadowrunner was the final boss for me.
Really?
It was hard as hell.
I don't know. I used
Aparte wasn't hard though. Aparte wasn't hard. The hard part was my Viper kit missing the damn strip on the shield, and so the way Aparte was is once you understand the mechanic, it's always the first and the third left ad is what you want to kill, and the way you kill it is you have to strip it and then kill it. Right, because that shield is like 200k.
Yeah, the problem is
Viper will just randomly at the end, last 10% of my of Aparte's health, miss the strip, and I'm like, I'm just dead now. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, and that's exactly what makes this boss so frustrating and hard, because these ads have like 5 million resistance. You can do whatever you want, but you can't do, and you are forced to basically 2 units you can bring, Rahu and Ziada. And both are ass for type, like for stuff like this, for example. Like people who cleared with Rahu had invested Lettuce Rahu. Like if you go in with a 1-1-1, it is potentially doable, but it is also a nightmare. There was also the combination of Lilium and Rahu. I tried that, didn't work for me. But then like you had to use Ziada because the roster was like, you were forced to bring Viper. You couldn't bring Heinrich, which would be more reliable, because Viper had to attack, break, speed down, and just strip, and because of the crit thing, just reduces the damage you're taking in. So you were forced to lock in Viper, and your chances of stripping was so minuscule. And once you fail the strip, you're done. You can just restart the whole thing. There's no way of coming back. But now with Plume, that is a different role. Now we got a unit that can strip and defense break, something which was missing. So we can finally replace the Viper. And now we can bring a true DPS instead of that Ziara bullshit, in my opinion. I can't wait for a reset event at some point, so I just want to get my letters back from her. And then I just brought in Gatsby with Plume together, and then my second try immediately just speed ran completely apart the down.
I used Viper and Plume, and I just brought Lillian. And I just cleared it. 6 minutes. Easiest clear of my life without thinking, because I already know the entire mechanic. My problem was me missing my damn strip, because Viper is a single hit strip, right? Plume is a 3-hit strip. So you're always, more guaranteed to land the damn strip if you put like 250 effect accuracy on her.
Yeah.
So that was all well and good.
Okay.
And then Rango is actually the best one, because you understand Rango. It's the ads will gradually get stronger. You know it's there.
Yeah.
It's a matter of how you want to deal with it. And that is what I think PvE is supposed to be. It's not too difficult. It's not like Rango back in the day when not even Rango. Nico Nana back in the day before they nerfed her like twice, right? Back in the day, that was ridiculous. Yeah. The amount of damage reduction he had, that was crazy.
It's also just, it was straight up stupid, because Nico, you have to keep in mind, Nico Nana is your introduction to Inferno Shells. So your introduction shouldn't be like the final boss, right? Because it should be your entry level to actually beat the final bosses of this game.
And so now they actually, they understand that curvature, right? That curve. You want to do PvE, you want it to be a little bit challenging, but you want it to be hard. Because if it's too hard, people are just gonna, forget it, skip it, right? They're like, this is not worth the tofu. And so I think the direction is going well, and it will always get it will get easier or more challenging in a way when more units come. Then they have to think of more different mechanics. Like now they've already introduced the whole locking you to only using certain attribute units, and that's one way of doing it. But if your roster is large enough, you still have options.
Yeah.
Like for example, for dark units, we have Heinrich and Plume now as strippers.
Yeah.
You get to choose.
Yeah.
So
which is good. But that's also for PvP, which we will discuss later in this podcast episode. But also like just wanna maybe from my side to give like what kind of improvements and content I want to see from this game. Like what I have a little bit of a gripe I have with Phantom Theater. Phantom Theater, in my opinion, is a dead mode. It's just such a it's such boring. It doesn't offer you anything. It's super
this is like PTSD, bro.
Yeah, and but it is like this mode. You can just remove it from the game, and I think it would at this point, like right now, if it stays the same, it doesn't change. It would be a actually quality of life improvement for everybody, just not having that mode. Let's be honest here. But I got an idea for that, how they could make it more interesting and enjoyable. That is, instead of making the cap at like 1,000 points, right? They put the cap at 2,500 points, for example. Make the hard, like you get the triple S or whatever is at 2,500 points. But now you don't make Phantom Theater a daily content. You switch from a daily mode to a weekly mode, and then as a reward for hitting the 2,500, maybe do even 3,000, I don't care, but that just as a number, give a perfect lettuce as a reward, weekly reward. This is a way to revive the Phantom Theater mode in one sense, make it less of a chore, because you only have to do it once a week, and now everybody looks forward for doing it because there's a lettuce behind it. And that would also be another thing about when we talk about the economy as well, on how to get more lettuces into the economy. That would be actually a perfect scenario, in my opinion, to add on that. What do you think?
I think you can keep it daily. But drip fragments instead. You get triple S, you get like fragments. At least people will do it, because there is fragments, there's 15 books, there's 300k. That is basically a whole 10 run right there. You know?
I mean, you could...
And also, do you know this little hack? I learned this during the viewers match. Did you know? If once you hit 1,000 points, you can quit. And once the entire run simulation is over, you just get everything in the mail.
But that only works if only one of two people quit out. If both quit out, then nobody gets anything.
That I don't know, but I've done it ever since then, and it's been super easy for me. I just go in there, I see 1,000, I quit, I leave, and then I just
you can actually quit out after the run started. You don't have to wait for the 1,000. You can quit right immediately.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. exactly.
I mean, I've just been heavy
Yeah,
carrying
yeah.
everybody
But
with Phantom Theater. So
But yeah, for just for Phantom Theater to get my point, like why I also say weekly is in a way because if you, let's say you said fragments, right? You can also make the fragments like a weekly thing. But I feel like why I wouldn't want to make it dailies, because daily, first and foremost, is annoying. And Sundays, when you put like something like a lettuce or lettuce fragments behind it, and once you miss a day because whatever, right? You don't have, you're somewhere, you're on vacation or something, whatever might be the case. Like you feel really bad missing out on that day of extra fragments. So weekly just gives you a little bit more time to, at some point, just to do it and finish it off and just get it, and then you feel good about it, right? Because on a daily, you're forcing yourself. I need it because there's a fragment. You know what I mean? That's why I thought like a weekly change would then be better. So that's for that. And in terms of content, what I want to see is, please make anything just a slightly less annoying. The Rango change was good, like apart was, but please just make it less annoying. And I think what I want to see in terms of content moving forward is also like just more modes. I think just more interesting modes, maybe like an elemental tower mode, right? You logging in these, like you have to use only reds, only blues or whatever. Something like that, for example, would be like a cool thing. Or maybe like a world boss or something, like something cool and interesting would be cool, just also for the PvE players and also just for us to get more rewards overall. And then improvements, please, for the love of God, something with shots. I don't know what they want to do with it, but what my number one, I know people complain a lot about lettuces right now in the game, and it is a valid complaint. I agree 100% with everybody when it comes to lettuces, but please increase the reconfig chips we get in this game. It is abysmal when I try to roll passives, man, and I'm doing 1000 stamina in shell, and then I sell everything. I go down all these red shells I get. I really sell even all my red shells, and then I have like only 3 just to squeeze in these extra little bit of reconfig chips. So I have like 500 on a daily basis just to reroll my passives, and I'm like out of them. Like, dude, man, I have to wait a day again. That is my biggest complaint right now. Reconfig chips.
I think reconfigured chips are arguably worse than tofus, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, eventually, I think all of this will sort itself out, right? Because once you get like, you know, like me, I'm already at like maybe 60 something shells max, level 40. Some of them are still, you know, golden. I need to make them red. But the ones that I really care about, my first 20 units that I want to use for PvP, they're all perfect already. So just imagine that extrapolated for a month to a year. You know, by that time, reconfigured chips are going to look like, why am I swimming in these now? Because I'm swimming in training data. Remember how training data used to be so scarce?
Yeah, training data is true. The training data actually fixed itself over time. I'm not 100% sure about the reconfig chips because, as I told you, for example, I only have like 2 shells with plus 20 speed. Now, at some point, maybe I have now all these red shells, but I have to go back and re-roll these reds to get a higher percentage.
I think that will definitely happen in the long future. Like that is like maybe 6 months down the line when, you know, you look at your red overclocking that is 24 and you're like, I want 30 now because fuck it. that will eventually happen, but a little bit more here and there, it's okay. And like with all the other PvE contents, they will come. I have no doubt that, you know, elemental towers will come and all that kind of stuff because it's been a mode that a lot of people have played before. And, you know, it's an easy introduction, really. So
yeah, for me, it's like for PvE content, I don't necessarily want them to add content which is existing in other gachas, just copy and pasting. It's also cool when we get something original. Also with these, we have these main characters, the guy or the girl, whoever you chose, like this running around. We have an Amber track, maybe also with characters something. They could add on that, right? They could expand on that thing. Maybe they have a good idea or something. They can cook up whatever they want, but that would be cool. Overall, when they would do something like that in the game.
I mean, that our PvE content has been, you know, pretty nice. You know, Amber Track, it's new. It's a roguelike thing. I have not really played a game that actually has something like, you know, Ethernet Rally. You know, I've never played a game with Dreamscape before. That's a new event.
Oh, you just reminded me of something. Ethernet rally, also something I want to see improve. It feels like a troll. Let's be honest. Can they just remove these 10k coin battles and just so we only have to fight these bosses? Don't you feel like it's...
I think eventually, I honestly think eventually they will do something along the, the Amber track where your normal is all clear until you go to the final boss. I think Ethernet Rally will get something like that in the future, where everything will clear until you go to the inner circle. Then you have to actually play that. But as us streamers, it's fine because we just do it when we are streaming. It's content for us, right?
That's true.
But for the regular players, that's different. That's why I like Amber track, right? Amber track, I can sit there. I have a reason to stream because I have a reason to play Amber track, and I just sit there. I just run around, collect stuff, chat with, my chat. That's it.
Yeah, I kind of do the same. Or while at work or something. I don't know, doing that stuff on the side when I get the time for that. But yeah, okay. I think we got the points down for the PVE side of the game because otherwise we don't wanna explode everything here. But yeah, next topic I think which is worth discussing is the shop, the paid shop. General thoughts about it. Do you like it? Do you don't like it? What would you see more? Because at the end, for the viewers also who are watching this later today, keep in mind, Sterbbys and I are both whales. We're not free to play. Never stated that. We're both whales. So what are your opinions on the shop in general? And what would you like to see change? You can also say like this pack is too expensive, just make it cheaper. Like, well, what is this? But yeah, just give your opinion.
I think I'm already in a pretty healthy, spending weekly quota kind of thing for me, right? Where every day I go in, I just buy the weeklies, right? Sometimes I buy the Animus pack if I really want, but if not, I just leave it. With the Essence shop, I've not even touched it. I don't need to touch it. I think that is more for, the CN whales when they are coming into the game to catch up.
You know that the stonks will
I don't need it.
The stonks will go up for the module essence section for the
and fun fact, they also have already limit it. So even the whales that are whaling for it can't really whale for it. Does that make sense? And so that's the first thing I look. I look whether it is an unlimited purchase or it's not an unlimited purchase. Because if it's an unlimited purchase, I remember that there was a time in E7 where your packs. There was a pack where you can just buy summons. It was unlimited, and I just sat there and I just saw one of these guys just sat there and spent 100 grand, 8 hours just buying packs and just summoning for everything just to play catch up, which was ridiculous. Okay, this game doesn't have that. It's still super anti-whale. It's still super anti-whale. All right, and no matter what you say, this game is actually kind of free, especially when it comes to the summons. I don't know if I can play at a different gacha game than this game after going through this this ordeal, basically. It's so free.
Except the LDs. The LDs are not really that free. You have your ways to...
LDs not being free? Fair enough, it's premium.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
just supposed to get one copy anyway. Well, you're supposed to only get one copy anyway. Right? Don't do what I do and go and P5 everything. Don't do that. But no one ever said that you cannot ever get that unit. No one ever said that, right? In this game, you can always get a unit if you actually plan it out properly, especially the LGBs.
I feel like as free to play, for your gems, you use your gems for refilling, obviously, and for LD tickets because you don't want to spend them on normal tickets because realistically speaking, you shouldn't have a need because every radar banner that is coming up, you should have enough to just pity these units. But the LD ones do all the things where you can get the LD, prioritize the LD tickets as much as possible, and maybe even from the weekly shop for 1200 red gems, buy the 5 LD tickets there. If you just want to give like on a pull plan perspective.
I reviewed a free-to-play character, a free-to-play account, and that guy has like 37k gems. 37k, and he has like 80% of the roster. If you plan it well, you will have all the unit. The only time he really ever spends his gems is when, 2x is coming and he just refills the last 2 days. Max refill, last 2 days. If not, he's just saving his pots. He's cruising through the game. There's no pressure at all. He's still clearing all the content. I just helped him min-max a little bit here and there, and he got easy plat. And now he's almost going to Masters. So free-to-play is actually what this game is. It is so anti-whale, it's ridiculous.
I personally am looking at the shop. I think the Essence shop is a good addition. I know some people complain, but for me, like, I saw all these gadgets, like, this is just normal. Like, to me, it's just normal that you buy rune packs, basically, right? It's just a rune pack because I don't see an issue with that personally. Reason being is, okay, so first and foremost, it's limited weekly, right? Still, it is a lot, right? And the thing is, this is what I meant, like, when we were just talking a minute ago about the gem packs, right? You said that they are not necessary, but for the big worlds, they will be necessary. You know why? They go into the module shop, and if you refresh, the refresh is unlimited. So they will use a lot of gems just to look for that, oh, give me that Fury Edge crit damage with 4 perfect substats. Give me that Swift Smite effect accuracy with speed bare minimum. You know, that type of thing. And then they refresh, just searching for that specific piece. So this is how they delete their gems and then go in, I need more gems because I need to refresh the module essence shop. But the thing is, in general, it is RNG what you like, how your rolls turn out. Just because you purchase a, let's say, a Swift Smite piece with 4 substats which has speed in it and accuracy, doesn't mean you get a quad speed roll or a triple speed roll or a penta speed roll. They can buy it because basically a Inferno piece right now costs you $25. That's a lot. That's actually very expensive for a piece. And $25, and then to have a chance of maybe getting good rolls. Now, imagine you spend now 25, buy that piece, roll it, and you get at max 2 rolls into your speed. You will feel bad. Now, do you really feel that bad now when they do, like, of course, like statistically, if they buy these packs, they should have like probably on average, most likely a better chance than you in getting a specific piece with that certain, let's say, speed, because they can target it more often than you with that method. But still, at the end of the day, it's just RNG.
It is RNG, but it is also a way for, the whales to get the right gear instead of just farming it non-stop. And so if they're going to be spending all their gems just trying to get the perfect piece, if you are just trying to chase speed off the whale shop and you don't get speed, that's fucking on you, bro. Let's be real here. Because if you're in the whale shop, you're looking for the perfect substat where wherever you roll, that piece is 100% guaranteed usable. That is what you're looking for when you go into the whale shop anyway, you know?
Exactly.
And so that's how I would do it, but I don't need to do it because I've really played the game for a good while. I only go into the shop every day on refresh just to take a peek, window shopping. See if there's anything good. If there's something good and I have the gems for it, I'll go buy it. Or if I feel like I want to gamble and I have the module X because I save now, because it's so fucking expensive to get a piece. So if I see something that is nice and has speed in it and it's a speed piece and I feel like gambling, I'll just gamble.
I also personally feel like, as I said, it is fine. Like I don't really care too much about it when people buy it, like, because they get an extra chance, like, but like it's not guaranteed at the end of the day. And it's also a way for the developers to make extra money. And you know how these people are, they going, oh, lol, less revenue, ooh, dying game. This is how they get extra money. At some point they need to make, obviously, the skins, we need to talk about that in a second, but what I want to mention is here, so 2 things. So first and foremost, I want to say, I feel like the exchange shop is pretty damn good. I think the union shop is really solid. I really like the union shop. I think this is one of the best. If someone says no, there's 100 games that have better guild shops, let me know. But I feel like this is a really, really solid and great, generally speaking, a union shop, especially like in a lot of other games. If you compare it to other games and they would have the exact same shop, it might be worse on other games, because in other games, SR units are not usable. Here, SR units are usable and actually good, and you can use them in PvP scenario. That's why I feel like this also makes this shop.
One too.
Yeah, true. That as well. That as well. Obo, Zanya,
Obo Kazio, fuck that.
Kazu.
Fuck those 2 units.
Then you got this. Then you got the summon shop. Since you are free to play, you pull anyways for the RGB, so you have an easier time to stock up 3,000 coins to get your like every 2 weeks that extra lettuce in, for example, right? And if you have a little bit extra, you feel like you can do that. You have the arena shop, which I feel like at this point, I think they could make it maybe just a little bit cheaper, but I don't have that big of an issue with it because I personally can cap out every limited a resource every single week without an issue and still have like 9,000 left. But maybe not everybody, and some people might want to go in and get some extra coin and training data. I feel like the ladders, they could just decrease from 7.5k to 5k. I think that would be the only change I say. The Summit Arena, I do have a complaint about that shop for particular. The anima shop is fine, but let me just, yeah, let's you know what, let's save the shop for just a little bit. What I do want to say is to make 2 more things for the paid shop. Is what I would like to see is, in my opinion, I know their main revenue is the perfect lettuce, but I think like if I compare to every other game, skill ups are valued $10 per skill up. In this game you pay 30 for skill up, which is insane. What my honest opinion is, what they should do is reduce the cost. Either one of 2 things. They can look at the numbers. I don't care what they want to do, but like make the pack instead of $30, $10 for 1 perfect lettuce and then sell it 3 times per week, or make it 2 times per week for $15 each. This would increase the amount of lettuces you could as a spender can buy at one thing. And second of all, like there are also light spenders as well you want to get, right? 30, I'm gonna tell you something, you just scaring light spenders with that price tag, because usually it's like 10 or like 1 skill, but 30 is like huge, and you're just scaring people. If you now make like a perfect lettuce, instead of 30, 10, you will get a lot. Obviously the people who buy it already, your revenue from that perspective will just slightly go down, but don't forget all the other people who now say, oh, this is not really good. No, for that one, I want to get it now on a weekly base, right? And they all jump in. So basically you increase your revenue by just lowering the price tag. For example, Netmarble, I played Solo Leveling Arise before I now jumped into Etheria Restart. They got that. It's not about having like a high price strategy. It's about making every pack affordable, but just having like 500 different packs more or less. And now you can, oh yeah, that costs too much. Let me get this, let me grab that and stuff like that. This is something they should do in my opinion, and also they could make spenders happier with this approach, because you sell a little bit more lettuce this way and just make it more affordable to the people. And yeah, and the other thing is just make decent skins.
I mean, we'll have to see what they do, because at the end of the day, I don't know what their KPIs are, what they are trying to do. But more, I know for a fact that they have mathed out, you know, if you get this many tofus a week, you can build this character within X amount of weeks. And therefore, if you extrapolate that over, you know, a course of, let's say they want to do it for, you know, play for the game for like 5 years, you will probably get most of your units all built up anyway. And then through, you know, special events like summer packs, Christmas, all that kind of stuff, you know, spring, whatever, right? Lattice here, lattice there, lattice here, lattice there, events. Eventually, you're going to get enough. Because for me, right now, I get about 3 every week. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5. And that depends on whether, you know, I get my fragments, whether there is an event with, whether it's the Dazzling Pulse event. But usually, it's always between 2 to 3. Always. And so if you just think about, you know, getting 2 to 3 every single week, you can build a unit within 3 weeks, right? Which is not bad, because your PvP units, which is what Jack said, right? Your PvP units are what you build on the side anyway, you know? Because the second you get your PvE sorted, you don't have to invest any more ladders and any more tofus. You just build them on the side now. All your units that you actually want to use for PvP. And so I think we just got to give it time. This is all can be solved through time. You know, as the game grows bigger and bigger and bigger, eventually they're gonna. I don't know about you guys in Summoners War, but Epic 7 now, when you start the game as a freshly player, you get like a few hundred tofus.
Yeah,
they just go take it.
I think we gotta wait and see, because when it comes to the shop, I think you can tell already with that new adjustment with that like exclusive lettuce. I already knew it immediately, which it was all about, like that it's specifically for that unit in particular. It was just a little bit not clear, my thing, because they said like the power system. The power system, if you look at the power system is duping and also skilling up. So from the way they worded it, it could have been either or. I mean, you just had to wait for the release to actually know what it is. Because I also would have, like the way I have seen it as well, it could have been like a milestone event which lasts for the duration, and then with like 3, 6, 9 and something, okay, you skilled that up to like that many times, even with these little count thingies or something, and now you get like the big shadow imprint, and now you got that many, now you get that perfect lettuce. So this is also what I envision could have been the case, but they decided to get the dupe route, which, I mean, both is okay, I would assume. But yeah, so
Yeah,
I
I
think,
mean, they're already introducing all the right stuff.
Yeah.
You know, especially it incentivizes the whale.
Yeah.
Most importantly, right? Because I saw 3 free tofus over there. I'm gonna get it because I'm definitely gonna get everything that they gave to me.
I mean, also
So
the good thing is that they're giving out now a free-to-play friendly option to get module essences. You can get now 400 module essence per week. Now, obviously, if you want to have the 3,000 thing, that probably takes you like, I don't know, 2.5 months. But that's not what you aim for. But at least you have, and probably in the future they will add more through different means, maybe as a free-to-play option to actually get that. And once in a while, you look at the module shop and maybe get something really good out of it. You want to pick it up. But yeah, so that's for that. That's the closing for the paid shop, really. The one shop, the Summit Arena shop, I will save for the PvP part now. One topic before we jump into the PvP discussion is, and I think also you kind of have to like update me on the topic because I really didn't dive deep into it. But I know you made a video, I didn't check it out yet, but like the whole point about the new advertisation, like that one video they put into the unlisted category, like maybe you can give me like a short update what it's all about. I saw like they with the returning player, they get like 2 lettuces, like 50-60 pulls, and then 1 SSR pull, stuff like that, and so on and so forth. Just like quick update, and maybe also like your general thoughts about it, what with all these new things they added.
This returning player thing has been something that I've known for a while anyway. This slide had it, Epic 7 had it. As long as you know the game is now in its 4th month, there will be players that will come back to the game eventually, right? When they make like a big collaboration, for example, people be like, all right, shit, I want to come back. For example, in Epic 7, they just, had a collaboration with Freerun. And I looked at it, I was like, oh shit, this is cool. And I can see people just coming back to the game from that. And so having that return player, milestones and all that kind of stuff like that, giving you more tofus, giving you more summons, giving you, more chances to pull for SSR unit to build up your roster again. They're all great. They're not meant to be for the players that's already playing, because we're already playing. Why do we need more? Y'all are gonna say, oh, so this game is just give the rich gets richer kind of thing, when you're supposed to help the players who have stopped playing catch up to the players that have been playing. Not to say that we're not going to get anything. I assume that in a way for them to thank us, they will give us more rewards through events and stuff like that, since you're already playing, right? But the most important thing is the skin. I don't know if you know this, but in the iOS shop, because you want TLDR, the iOS shop had a patch note, and a whole bunch of stuff there was said that was not said in our own patch notes. Like the global event that's coming, the new RTA shop that is going to be coming, the new Yelly skin, exclusive non-recolor premium skin is coming as well. So all of that is coming.
Okay.
We just have to be patient.
But it wasn't mentioned for us.
It wasn't mentioned in the patch notes, but in the iOS patch, because with Apple, you have to state everything that's coming, right? You can't just tease things. They wrote everything out, and we saw all of this stuff that is coming within the month.
Yeah, but I mean, it could also be the case of I don't want to defend them, but like in general, you can look at either or, but I feel like it could be also a case where like, okay, so I want to release the game in that store, for example, but they are forcing me because I'm forced by their TOS or whatever to put all these informations in. But in reality, the reason why I'm not putting it in the patch notes or something right now is because we're just visually not ready to provide these information. So we can say, okay, the Yali skin, for example, is coming, but you know what, we don't want to talk about it because we don't know exactly when we are ready with that. And also when they want to announce it, they want to say, hey, here's the Yali skin coming and here is how it looks like, for example. But the how it looks like is not ready yet, right? So it could be like that's a type of situation. They just want to have everything sorted out and ready, and then you get that patch note or even trailer could also be, or hyper talk. I think that's a thing that I don't know when we got the last hyper talk, to be honest. Probably like,
I think it's like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
or
like
a month ago-ish.
long time.
I want to say.
Maybe they're preparing a hyper talk right now with all these things which are listed in
knows?
the shop. Maybe,
Who knows?
because that's a long time. But yeah, I don't want to like defend them too much, but like that could be a thing. But yeah, outside of that, I understand the people who are complaining about the returning player thing. Like I understand both sides, you know. So for one thing, I'm like, dude, guys, you're playing the game every single day. You are getting 2 lettuces every single week, bare minimum, from, I think it is just from the arena shop. Just you do in the arena, pick up the lettuce, and there's one more way to get a lettuce, I think. Or am I wrong? Or maybe it's just because I'm spending buying.
Union.
Okay, you get, but you're just getting guaranteed ways of obtaining lettuce and stuff like that. Now, someone who didn't play for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, no, he doesn't have the stuff you had over the time period. They missed a lot of lettuces, you know, they missed a lot of polls, they missed a lot of whatever the case. This is just helps them to get a little bit back in, you know. This is what people sometimes don't understand, is whatever, like, it looks, when you look at it from a active player perspective, it looks like, dude, this looks so good, right? But realistically is whatever the returning player is getting for coming back and playing is less than what you got for consistently playing the game. That is one thing. But I also understand the players who are actively playing the game that saying like they feel a little bit discouraged, but like, because they feel like, yeah, where is my reward for supporting the game, for example, since day one, and I'm sticking and logging in every single day and I do every single thing every single day?
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what they're going to do, right? Maybe they can give us a frame. Maybe they can give us, you know, like a little title tag thing. That could work. That could work. Because if they give us more resources alongside the returning player, then we are just getting more stuff, and then they have a bigger gap to catch up. You know what I mean? So they have to give us something in a way that says thank you without, you know, inflating your account.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I personally don't feel like too bad. I'm like not like, I don't know, scared or frustrated with anything when it comes to the game, because they also just, I feel like they do listen to the players. They're just not the fastest. They're really not the fastest, and the communication is also sometimes not the greatest, let's be honest here. But I think for the most part they do. I at least when I look at what the complaints are in the game and what we need to see improvement is, I see improvements. I see like they actively working on the stuff we're mentioning is a problem, right? Except for the last part, but that's a different story. And about the, you know what, the one thing that is something I'm curious about your thoughts. That's one thing I want to talk about. I don't know if you watched it, but like the whole Plume dupe 2 counter attack 10% up situation.
When I looked at it for the very first time, I was like, this doesn't even fucking make sense to me. Why does she have a counter attack?
Yeah.
That was my very first reaction. I was like, what is this? Like, this is a wasted stat on me. I'd rather have, you know, effect accuracy and maybe more HP, whatever. I don't care, right? But counter attack rate 10%. People are misinterpreting counter attack rate with counter attack chance, because this was chance, not rate, whereas Holden is rate, right? That's why he has like an 84% counter attack rate. He counter attack every time you touch it. Counter attack chance. You're playing with a 10% chance, man. 10% chance to counter attack, which is an AoE, which also messes up your Kazuyo sleep if you want to play her with Kazuyo, or your counter attack can just do things that you don't want her to do anyway because you're trying to keep the person on lock. That's why you play a stripper, right? So it didn't make sense to me to begin with, and everyone was going crazy. I was like, wait a minute, this is number one going against what they have been saying, which is dupes are never going to inherently change the way the character work. Right?
Yeah.
This changes how you play Plume. Yeah. Even though it's a 10% chance and it's a wasted stat, it's still something that changes the way, you have to interact with her. Because there is a good chance that she might just, proc a counter attack. Right?
And stack Curse Quill.
And so number two, it just never that stat just never made sense to begin with. So I knew for a fact that this was, everyone had to calm down, make a complaint, but don't go and fucking flame them and be like, yo, what the fuck is this? Right? At the end of the day, you see, they changed it because they knew it was a mistake.
Yeah.
So I'm always in the camp of, just calming down, let it sort itself out. If it comes out the way it's supposed to be, then I would have said something.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this inherently changes the way it plays because a whale will have a completely different character to what you have.
Personally, this is the one time that there's like this light PTSD that kicked in for me when I saw that.
Sorry? Say that again?
I saw this light PTSD kicked in when I saw that. Because
no, that was 100% dislike PTSD because let's educate your fan base real quick. This slide was once upon a time like Etheria restart. Every dupe was just a base increase. It was just a base increase. It's a similar thing to what we have in Etheria restart. Until the community started saying the dupes are fucking boring. I have no reason to pull for dupes. Make the dupes more exciting. And so they took the exact opportunity and be like, cool. Now your R2, R4, and R6, which is your P2, P4, and your P5, completely changes the entire damn unit that you are using. They hide the skill behind the dupes now.
Well, there was an extra step. Before we had that, we had a skill tree. And then we had the R2, R4, R6 thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You remind me now. So before we even got that, it was a branch thing where, from your attack, defense, and your HP, you can branch out to, maybe do a little bit more damage here. Depends on how you want to play it, right? It's like a little tree branch. People said that was too complicated. Too much thinking. No good. Not good for brain. I don't like to exercise my smooth brain. Let's change this. So they went, cool. Let's change it all. Now we hide skills in the dupes.
Yeah.
That was PTSD. That's why we have it.
Yeah, that's exactly why. But that's basically where that game went downhill for me. And let's just not talk about it. But but
you know why? It's because the community, they listen to the community too much, which is why I'm really afraid of the Etheria restart listening to the community too much.
No, actually not. Lilith was actually the exact opposite, that they didn't listen at all. Imagine Shade Mother 2022. That's still a mystery to this day.
Oh no, they listened when they wanted to listen. You know what I mean? But when they say change this, they immediately change it. And so what we have now, how we say, all right, nerf. They nerf Hoyan, they nerf Nico, they nerf this, they nerf that, and then they said we are not going to change the units until end of the season patch. Nerf. Lilium shit. Lilium hot garbage. Here's a hot fix for Lilium. I was scared then. That was when I was like, "Ooh, shit! This is murky waters now."
But
now I'm a bit afraid.
But let's be honest for a second. The Lilium change was a good change, in my opinion. It was also, if we want to talk about this for like a minute, real quick, I think this was a really smart and good change because the character came. I forgot how they advertised Lilium, to be honest. I really forgot how they advertised her, but that's besides the point. They released her, we pulled her, I tested her, I skilled her up and stuff like that. But let's be honest, she was really underwhelming. Like, Ditting was just straight better. just straight.
Oh,
That was
I never used EDM in PVE, so
so that's one thing. I also tested her for PvP, both. Like I like the HP destruction thing, but like you also use the S3 for the HP destruction, but it was so small and minuscule because just blood buff is way too strong. But that topic we will also go for when we are in the PvP section. But the change for her was really good because now she felt a lot better, because after the change in PvE, she felt now comparable to like Ditting. It was not she was weaker than him. Now they were on par. Before Ditting was better. Now they were actually on par. In some situations, she's slightly better just because of the control immunity, but overall, you could say they are about on par. And now for PvP, she felt a lot better because now she really matters with her HP destruction. Boom, let me hit that stupid Tiamat, destroy 50% of HP so she cannot hit that hard, and just the healers can't do that many things anymore. The S2 hits now a lot harder, which feels a lot better, stuff like that. So those were, in my opinion, good. And the thing which was for me the good part and the smart part about the changes was it was all within her banner being active. Not when the banner ran out. It was like a week after her banner released, they patched her, which was good because this banner was still up, so people still had the chance to like, okay, now I want to get in.
I mean, I have no problems with that. I have no problem with that. My problem is the way we complain and the way they listen too much. That's what I'm afraid of, because I've gone through the dislike PTSD.
Yeah,
that's what happened, right? I've been through during the beta as well, so I've seen dislike being from its very first beta. You came in during the actual full launch, so technically you are right now in the beta server of Etheria Restart, which is what I was in dislike, right? And then the CN is where you guys came in for dislike. And so I saw the entire progression, how they listen until they saw, okay, now we don't have to really listen anymore because we've hit targets, whatever. I don't want that to happen for the game. I want them to already, as a business, have their own, roadmap, understand their roadmap. We're not privy to it, okay? So don't fucking try and ask for it. If they want to share it, that's up to them, okay? But they have a roadmap. They have KPIs they need to hit for every quarter. As long as they hit it, and as long as the game, is not, unbalanced, because it's a PvP game nonetheless, I got no problems. I have no problems. So I'm just really afraid that they listen too much to the community, especially, in our main core, so fucking toxic, bro.
Yeah, that is true, but I feel like there's a fine line between listening to feedback and not listening to feedback. Like I rather have them, like if I have to pick my poison, I would say I rather have them listening more to feedback than not listening at all to feedback. Let's be honest, because then nothing improves and they do whatever they want, and that's like also not good for the game.
But I think listening too much is where the detriment comes in,
Yeah,
and that will bring it into the PvP section, because if they actually listen to the community, they would have already nerfed Bloodbath, and now you just die to cleave. 100% you just die to cleave. Bruises will never exist anymore, especially with the introduction of Plume. Let's be real here, if Bloodbath was actually gone.
Yeah, we will get into the PvP section in a bit, but just to finish off the section, I don't even know what the section was anymore because we were at the advertising part. But yeah, about the buff, I think it was I think the buff in general with this banner, I think it was fine because it was done correctly in my opinion, and that's because she was an underwhelming unit, and this way they fixed her and it didn't make her too broken. And it was just like, now she felt solid to me, right? So there's a fine line between listening to community feedback, applying certain changes, and being also fast with the changes as well. The only thing where I have now a problem, like slight problem, comes in because with now the Plume release, just to talk about that for a quick second here, is I know because I watch a lot of these logs and stuff like that, and where Jack was, and I don't know, what was it, you or Artia translating these Chinese interviews and stuff like that. I know there's one thing I will never forget, and if I ever meet Jack, I will tell him that. If I can. He says explicitly he does not want to power creep because he says power creeping is the death of a game, or death of a gacha game, or PvP game, whatever you want to call it, right? This is what he said. He didn't say that once. He said that many, many times and different times. Not as Plume. And I'm honest with you, Plume feels like a power creep. Like, she has way too much. Like, if we look just at a raw face value, strip and defense break, okay, that is fine. That is cool, because now we have a different option. Now there's like a different type of strategy combination. Because, for example, what I say all the time, maybe, which you might not know, is I wish we have a unit that can AoE defense break and AoE attack up at the same time, because I can just remove 2 units from my lineup and replace it with one, which just opens up a slot for something else, really, right? This is what I want, like having that interaction. But now we got Plume, but she does not only have strip into AoE defense break, no. She also have that weakness to reduce damage. She has that curse quill, damage taken increase, speed down, stacking up, and then Termita plus. It's a lot in one, and she's dark. And a dark unit just doesn't, like, you know, how do you say it, like a miss, because it's like because of elemental advantages and stuff like that. So she's like Heinrich, but on steroids in some situation. Yeah, or like
I don't see her as so much of a power creep in that sense. I see her as like a different way to play. Because if you're thinking about her doing strip and defense break every gacha game, there will always be that one unit that does a strip into it. Right? The difference between her and Heinrich is that Heinrich puts buff block and last words, which is arguably you hit harder and you cannot get buffs. And he strips at every hit as well, right? He's also a 3-hit. Whereas Plume is you get defense broken, you take more damage, which is basically her curse quill plus defense break, and you do less damage. But you can still get buffs, which means a Lilium can still one-shot your non-bloodbath unit.
And curse quill is not cleansable.
Yeah, curse quill is not cleansable. That part there was where I was like, oh, okay. So this is something that's super unique to her. You want to make sure she's off the board before you get the 10 stacks, because if you get the 10 stacks, you're kind of you're gone. You're dead already.
Like I personally think there's one thing I would change about her to make her more balanced. I think if they, because you know, they said like, yeah, we will also nerf units if they are too strong and stuff like that. You remember that they said that at the beginning. I'm not sure if they will do that, because once the game also launches in China, I know that in China for gacha games it's illegal to nerf units. I know that there's a law for China specifically. I don't know about that, but for China specifically, there's a law nerfing units is illegal and they cannot do that. So I'm not sure. I don't want to do them. They bug fix something, you know what I mean? They like to say bug fix, but it's a nerf, to be honest. They just use a different word for it. But if they would want to nerf Plume and make her, I would say, more balanced, streamlined to all the other units, because let's be honest for a second here, if we look at Plume versus all other units in the game, she does feel stronger than them. But the one thing I would do is remove the Termita plus. I think just straight up removing the Termita plus would just balances her out. Doesn't change her usability in PvE at all. Still good. And she still has her usability in PvP. Like, if you, I'm not kidding you, if you remove the Termita plus from her, she would still be used as much as she is right now in PvP. But it would like make it in generally a little bit more manageable and would not necessarily make her right off the gate a perma, I have to ban you, I have to ban that unit, because she will be a very big problem, right? That's why I think if you want to nerf something, I would say just remove the Termita interaction with her.
Yeah, I think we have to see, right? I don't want to call shots here yet, and that's also because I can see both sides of it. Because Plume is not a unit that, you know, you can build. There's only one build, which is go super fast.
Yeah.
There is no such thing. You can build her to play her as a bruiser. You can play her as a bruiser.
True.
Right? And if you are trying to play her as a bruiser, you know that your bruisers are at speed. You are slow as fuck, bro. Let's be real here. And so getting that little bit of turn meter push doesn't let you get lapped over and over again by, you know, these CC units. You have a chance to fight them now. Right? Even if you miss the resist, there's still a chance that you can still fight them and get and cleanse off the debuff and do things. Okay, so I can see both sides. I can see both sides. If you're already going fast and you're playing Plume as a cleaver, you're already killing everything. Everything's dead. That turn meter doesn't even matter to you. It only matters to the bruiser players who are trying to play Plume in their bruiser comp. But then they also face the problem where now they are giving up a tempo for a strip. Because usually in that slot where you want to play Plume is where you want to play Lily. Because Lily gives you that tempo, right? That turn meter push with the twin trick so that you can cycle your DPS. Plume does that for your entire team slowly, right? 8% is not a lot like Fushu. Fushu is also 8%. Okay, if it was 10%, different story. If it was 10%, different story, because that's a lot. Because you add that with Strife, and then you add that with Gigabyte, add that with Reaper Steps, then it starts becoming crazy. But 8%, manageable at best.
I'm telling you something, and I think this is now the best gateway to jump over to the PvP topic of this podcast here, State of PvP. One thing, dude, Plume came in and immediately changed the entire meta for PvP on how it works, entirely global S1. You can see everybody Freya Plume, like top. Like very, very top, right? Everybody. Then I saw a different server. I don't know which one it was. Was it Asia? Was it Europe? Was it some of the newer ones? I don't know. They were all like the entire meta on their server, which was interesting to see. I was like, wow, interesting, because ours is really just Freya Plume combo and then whatever you finish it up with, right? They have legitimately just everybody has a bruiser team with Plume in it. Everybody, just like Fushu, Tiamat, I don't know what was Zania or Ling or whatever it might be, and then Plume. Every single one of them. Like, and then it's like, it was interesting to see, like, wait, we have more like a speedy approach and there's like a tanky approach, but Plume was in is basically in both methods involved in there. Yeah, I made also like a video the other day with her, like, dude, I was yesterday or the day before, I set up my Plume defense and dude, I was sitting on rank 1 for 30 hours straight.
Yeah, I know. Because we were attacking you, going like, we know you're fast. You from I think like the first 2 weeks you already had like a quad or some shit like that. So we knew you were fast. And then we see you in there with Plume. And then my entire guild is going, I'm gonna attack M because we're all friends anyway from this slide. Fuck him. Let's go hit him.
Yeah.
And then you just come and you just see you. We lost. All right, this is bullshit. Let's try this new style now. And we're like, we're just feeding you, bro.
Dude, everybody was feeding me. That was insane. You know, like my day where I had the defense set up, you know, my entire day, I was just sitting, like laying down at my couch and I was already done with my chores, and my fun activity was just going into Etheria every 5 minutes to just check my devlog and see what happened. Dude, I had 250 attacks in 30 hours. Like the way, I think it's good, like the system they use for Etheria is good compared to other games. But basically, once you sit at rank 1 or rank 2, like everybody has you in the list, right? It's absolutely insane, and people just hit you. And I think my win rate was like 65-66% and stuff like that. And yeah, so I had a test and just set it up. I was sitting in rank 1 and all the time I never left rank 1. I was like, dude, that is insane, right? And people were saying like, and I know Emil was on our guild Discord. He was like, dude, man, what is this defense from M here? I was like, dude, every other one I can easily beat, but yo, M's Messiah is different, man. He is fucking hard, man. Dude, this is not normal. And I mean, yeah, man, that's why I built him like that. But yeah, after that, I already got enough data. I already have, by the way, I have an improvement, dude. You don't want to see the next thing I cooked up, man. That is really annoying. That will piss off everybody. I'm telling you that. But yeah, that's besides the point. But I got enough data from my side, so I took it away. I replaced it with a tank dev because I'm like, if you are competitive in that kind of mode, you don't want to give people too much information, and you don't want them to figure out how to beat your defense. I got enough data for me personally how it performs overall. really good. But also I know nobody who attacked me, I think except for maybe one person or something, beat me 100%. They might have like attacked me 5 times, but from those 5 times they won 4 times and 1 time they lost. So they don't have 100% win rate against my defense, and that is not the optimized which I will play the next time. But I have enough data that, for example, during rush hour, because that's next week where it actually matters to play, do you really want to hit someone where you cannot guarantee you win? Probably not, right? You don't take the chance, because if you lose not 10 points, you lose 20 points, because you were there, now you lose 10, and now you need another ticket to get back, and you lost time. So if you see a defense and you know somebody, you cannot guarantee with 100% certainty you win and you have to gamble, you probably just skip on the person. So that's why yeah, so that's why I changed it, and like, yeah, that's then for next week in general. But yeah, so that's for that. Like, this is my point for Etheria. I think I think there's not much to talk about it. It did change a lot, but that's like because both sides can use the same units. But yeah, what's your thoughts about the general state of PvP?
Let's just say we are 9 days left in PvP. No, in RTA, and I only just started climbing, so I'm currently in Diamond 2. I've only played 32 games, and I'm in Diamond 2, and so
Coasting.
the only way that I can give my honest opinion is mostly through Fearless Arena, because that's where I test shit.
Yep.
That's the best place to test shit, because you don't lose elo.
Yep.
You know?
It's
when you go into, when you go into RTA, that's when, elo starts playing a thing, and then, you start playing more meta, right? And so when you're trying to test stuff, I go into Fearless, and that's why I love the weekend, because I go into Fearless, I test stuff, see if it works, and then I bring it over to, RTA section. And so I only just recently reached Diamond, and people are already pre-banning Plume, so I can't really play Plume.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so my RTA with pre-ban and third pick protect, I only have 5 games, 7 games, so I can't really tell you, because all the games Plume has been pre-banned. So she has just been, like a non-factor to me. Because let's be real here, if you ban Plume, you're probably banning High to begin with, because you don't want to get stripped. And usually if you're a bruiser player, you want to keep all your buffs, which is normal. It's normal. So I don't know. I know for a fact that, early days of, RTA, you're usually going in a season where, it's all cleave. And then you go into the mid-season, everyone starts going into more standard. And then when the end of the season comes, everyone starts tanking up because they're trying to hold their points. This game is different. This game, we started tank, which is why everyone said Bloodbath is fucking bullshit.
It is true.
And then now, as the season goes on and on and on, everyone starts getting off Lighthouse, start going Artisan. Now Ref is back, and they're like, "Dude, Ref never left. What do you mean?" I was like, "No, the reason why Ref left was because everyone tacked for it. Now that everyone is tacking for the Bruiser Mirror, now Ref can come back in." And so now we're going back into a more of a faster pace. So now we've just inverted the entire RTA season that I have, known and played for the last 5 years of Epic 7 on its head. So I'm in a season now where you gotta go fast, or you need to just play standard. You can't play tank.
It's kind of interesting because I'm looking at these ranks, and I played a lot of different play styles in RTA, like a lot, because I already I got into Mythic. How was my grind? So the way I did my RTA grind was I did my 10 initial matches to get ranked, and I was sitting in plat. Then I didn't touch Fearless for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. RTA for like 2 or 3 weeks or so. I got decayed down to gold 1, so I lost like 300 points. So this was my starting point, basically. And then over a time span of 2 days, I got into Mythic with 58 wins and 10 losses. So I had like an 86% win rate to get into the Mythic range. And I saw like a lot of different things overall, but like the majority, what I have seen was CC and Bruiser. And if I have to give like a rough estimate, I would say probably I saw 60% bruising and 40% CCing, to be honest. This is what I saw for that grind. Like I wasn't that high because like my first goal was like let me play myself into Mythic now and not just do it how I did the last time, last 2 days on the end of season. I just want to have like I don't want to feel pressured getting into Mythic. I just want to get like, I want to cozy into it. Let's put it that way. And what I can tell you about that was like, dude, some things are just super annoying, and they just need to like fix certain things. Yeah, now Plume is there, and we can also talk about like the current meta. I feel like right now, personally, I think the Bruiser CC playstyle is the strongest playstyle in the game right now. I think even if you play CC, if you play Bruiser, you have still a really good win rate against CC players overall, because you have certain bans, and if they cannot CC, and once you get out of it, you get like that immunity and that cleanse and whatever it might be, it's over. Like they basically, like a CC player has to fight a Bruiser player like they are a raid boss, right? Like they're trying, like they're basically playing any single party or something, or so. I just have to keep you CC, because once you touch me, it's over for me. And from the play styles we have in this game, because also if you look at the RTA right now, I think Keka's sitting at rank 1. It's still Bruiser, it's still Holden, Tiamat, Zania, stuff like that, with Plum mixed in right now. And I think Bruiser, in my opinion, is still the strongest playstyle, because it's just, you can throw anything in with blood buff and stuff like that. It just works, like especially when you lattice the stuff, right? It gets on a different level when you lattice the stuff. Then CC obviously has like a, I would say, a favorable matchup against Bruiser. And then we have the last, which is Cleave, and Cleave, in my opinion, is still the weakest of the bunch. The only reason Cleave is no a thing at all in RTA or even Etheria is because I popularized it. Let's be honest here for a second. Before that, nobody used it. The only thing you have seen before was some type of Heinrich Obol combination with a Yelly in it. But to be honest, you couldn't call it Cleave, because at the end of the day, that was not really Cleave. That was, you know what, I play CC and I bring Yali as like sub DPS because I somehow need to get rid of all the HP, you know? So it was like CC with like getting some damage in. But like the true Cleave in this game right now is, and that is the truth, is only Messiah. And only Messiah is possible, and only because of the discovery with like Tsuki Bei or Mass, for example, combination, stuff like that, with the whole interaction of boosting and then just reboosting for a double pump. That's the double pump strat. And like, if Messiah is not there, it doesn't work. Like the playstyle does not even exist in the first place. You don't have other options. Yelly can't do it. Gatsby can't do it. Gatsby has now a little bit more, but Gatsby does not even fit into the Cleave playstyle, because he fits more into the CC playstyle, where he becomes a Cleave option, if you want to put it in that way. But outside of that, outside of that one unit, Cleave does not even exist in this game. And now with the current state of PvP, what I'm seeing and what's my opinion, sorry for having that long monologue here, but with Plume now into the game, it's basically whoever gets first pick wins the game on a higher level game. Because reason is, if you get first pick, Plume now kind of replaces Lily as the first pick option, but on steroids. So you pick Plume now, whoever gets first pick has a high advantage because you pick Plume. And after that, it's now either you get now 4 free units, you get 4 free units, because they will ban Plume, so you can do whatever you want at this point, or they ban something else and you get the Plume, which is also very, very annoying. And I saw how much damage, for example, Holden deals when he gets Death Broken by Plume. He hits like a wet noodle with his 400 damage. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
we all know how powerful Plume is, and the reason why she's so powerful is because the Bruiser playstyle relies on buffs. Let's be real here. If a Bruiser does not have Artisan on them, they are very manageable. Okay? It's because of that fucking Artisan that gives them a massive shield, you are not touching their HP, which is why it's so annoying to fight Bruiser versus Bruiser, because the Bruiser can never break an Artisan shield, ever, unless they strip it, right? Which is why Mizuki is a thing now, because Mizuki can just dispel the damn shield. And so, with Plume, why she is so potent is because she just strips it. She just gets rid of the shield, she puts defense break, so now the shield, even if you get the shield is, a lot squishier to begin with. When you're talking about playing into a aggro playstyle in this game, cleaving in this game is basically using your shell. That's why our cleave is called Rev Cleave. Before then, we don't have a real answer. It's because of Bloodbath. And Bloodbath is one way to help the Bruiser player who doesn't have speed answer the cleave player who is all about speed, right? And so once you have that little triangle that I like to talk about, that PvP triangle, it's a matter of how you want to play that playstyle. Because once you understand what playstyle you like playing a lot, for example, I'm more aggro standard, so you're more cleave, so you are going to tunnel more into how can I cleave. If I don't want to do it with Rev, how am I doing it? Oh, Suki, Bayo, double pump Messiah. That's another way of cleaving now, right? Eventually, there's going to be more iterations of cleaving. Like, for example, now we have Plume, so now we can do things with Plume, right? Strip into attack buff, into just nuke. Also can work now.
That's, for example, what Cleave is missing in general as a playstyle, and that's why Messiah is the only viable option for it, is having that reliable AoE defense break you can follow up with. Before you had Claws one hit with it's so low to actually get a defense break in, but that is now a viable option to actually start it, because Messiah could ignore the fact because he has the defense ignore in it, but all the other DPSs actually cannot do. By the way, I saw one of my viewers showed me screenshot. You can actually use Remoka now to cleave. I saw screenshots.
Like what?
You can use Remoka to cleave.
Oh,
I saw it.
I don't have Remoka. So.
Yeah, no, because one of just a little excursus real quick. One of my viewers on Discord actually has a P5 Remoka 445 or 455. Actually invested in her, and I said build her in a specific way and just show me what damage she does. She actually with her S3 hits for 90k damage and then spreads 40k on the rest. It's really hard now with the pump combination, because you didn't have the defense break before so you couldn't use her. But if you actually have I was curious about how does a beefed up Remoka looks like, because mine's in 5-star. I don't want to invest lattices because that's the lattice problem. How would you? I was always interested, and he was like, "Oh, perfect time! I want to see that now. Do it." And it's like, she's actually decent. No, I'm not kidding with you. She's actually decent. She could be actually something like really, really strong pick if you have a replacement for Plume. If you have some sort of AOE defense break. But yeah, yeah, there are different options. I don't know what I wanted to. I was sidetracked, but yeah, keep on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a matter of understanding your playstyle, understanding what your account has given you. I've done account reviews where they tell me, okay, I want to play Bruiser, but then I go into their account and I look at all their gear and it's crit damage, speed, crit rate, attack. I look at all their main stats, it's all crit damage, crit rate, attack. Main stat, effect accuracy, and I'm like, where's your HP bonus? Where's your defense bonus? Where are they? They're like, oh, it should be there. All right, okay, cool. Let's look at your bloodbath stuff now, because if you have them, it should be on your bloodbath. Look at their bloodbath stuff. Main stat, crit rate, crit damage, attack. Their substats on their left side, crit damage, speed, crit rate, attack. I was like, and you want to play Bruiser how? You're all damage, bro. You need to play speed.
Yeah.
You're all damage. And so that's the problem. People don't understand their playstyle and where they want to sit on that playstyle triangle. And they just see, oh, this has all the damage stats. I like this. And then they keep it. And then they look at a piece with speed, effect accuracy, effect resistance, HP bonus, and shit piece, sell. And then they just, shoot themselves in the foot, and then they go, oh, I don't have enough speed now. because all their gear is just damage gear, but they don't have the speed.
Yep.
And so that's the problem that I've seen throughout, my account reviews. Those people who know what they want to play, like you, for example, your style is cleave, you can get the Mythic very easily in this game. Mythic is not this exclusive rank anymore. It's more getting yourself into the top 200 where you get the frame. That's when, it actually matters.
And knowing how to draft.
Yeah, drafting is always plays a part.
Yeah.
Always plays a part. If you see someone first pick Plume, what do? What can your account do, and how do you want to answer it? It's also a very important question. Because someone can draft a Plume and they're playing Bruiser. You won't know, right? Until you draft your next 2 units and then go into, then you would he's going into CC, he's going to Bruiser. Then you can draft accordingly.
Yeah, there are just different things in general which play a role. Also, you have to keep in mind why also it's not easy just to nerf certain things or playstyles, because what you also have to keep in mind to a certain degree, I think, is when it comes in terms of units, it's not like a tank player can easily switch over to CC playstyle or a cleave style, or a cleave player like I am cannot just easily switch to like a bruiser playstyle, because my lattices, because they are so limited in this game, I invested into that playstyle. Let's put it this way, I invested into this playstyle. I can't just pivot to a different, because I would be like, I probably, if I would play, let's assume I have all my knowledge, right, and I have my modules and keep that way. If I would play Bruiser, so first of all, I lack the knowledge of playing Bruiser that much because it was never my playstyle in the first place. But let's assume I even had that knowledge to a certain degree. I would have a way harder time getting into Mythic now than with what I'm using right now, because the units I have to use for that are all like skill level 111. There are no lattices invested in it. So then I have to face people who play that playstyle, but they don't have 111, they have 555, 413, like whatever it might be. Like, this is a lot harder for someone if you don't have these lattice invested, right? So you are kind of gate kept in a certain way. You kind of gate kept by your lattices into different play styles. So you kind of locking yourself into a play style till you actually have enough lattices to maybe branch out to different type of play styles, right? And this is also something what I would like to see an improvement in future is maybe just like when it comes to prowess, splitting up the base stats and the lattice investments for skill ups. Just go, like, it's so stupid sometimes that they put the speed behind the S1. Like, for some units the S1 is good, but like also there are other units their S1 is just bad, and the only reason you skill up S1 is just for the extra speed. So I would like to see at some point is just split up the prowess, just make it like standard. You know what, let me farm my prowess dungeon, get all the stuff, get it full, I get all my speed, I get all my crit damage, accuracy, whatever it is, and my lattice are exclusively just to get these extra effects, because that would be also more manageable for everyone. Then like that's also why I feel like lattices feels worse in this game, because certain things are locked behind. For example, Mio, I think, is a good example. I would never ever give Mio skill ups into her S1 if it wasn't for the plus 15 extra speed, right? So this is something what I want to see as an improvement for PvP in general, because that also just blocks you behind certain things and playstyles. And what I noticed, I'm not sure if you talk to people, Sterby, but like, there are also biases. Everyone has the bias, depends on the playstyle, right? But what you can tell is like the bruiser players, they're saying like, for example, cleave is too strong or something, which in my opinion is objectively wrong. But then they also say bruising is fine. They say the only problem is healers are the problem, which is only 50% of the truth, actually. It's only, I actually explained it a guildmate the other day, why healers are truly a problem in this game and they feel so strong. The reason why healers are a problem is because blood buff exists. And I'm not kidding you. Blood buff is the reason why healers are strong, because blood buff's effect is, so you have like that bar. Let's assume you have like that bar, right? That is filled, this is 100%, right? So blood buff is after you lose 20% of your HP, right? Now the damage reduction of 55% kicks in. So you do no damage, 20% kicks in, and then you just do that little bit of extra damage, right? You can't get, because the reduction is super strong, right? You can't just force your way. You can't get the enemy if you play DPS or whatever it might be the case, right? Now, if you do like a big hit from 100%, you get them down now, let's say, to like 65%. If blood buff wouldn't be a thing, you would get them like, let's say, down to 30%, 25%, 20%, whatever it might be the case at the end of the day. And now the thing is, now you have the healer, and the healers do not heal. They don't have weak heals. They have strong heals, right? And now you got them down because of the blood buff only to, let's say, 65%. And now the healer does his thing, boom, back to 100%. And now the next time you actually get a chance, now you're back at the 65%. Now this is why healing feels so strong, because the blood buff just blocks you. Now if they would nerf the blood buff effect and maybe also the healing to a certain degree, maybe. Now let's say you have the same scenario, but now instead of 65% now with a nerf blood buff, whatever they might choose, you get them down to, let's say, 40% or 35% now, okay? And now the healer heals up, but the healer doesn't heal up back to 100%. The healer now heals up maybe like only to, let's say, 60-70%ish around that area, maybe 70%, 75, right? But it's not 100% anymore. And now you have a more realistic chance next time. Okay, now I have them at 10%, and now they get them back to like 30-40%, and then you kill them off. I feel like the mechanic of blood buff is just in general too strong. I feel like, and there's also another thing I want to mention that here is that I think blood buffs, I know you said it's turn 2 protection mechanic, which makes sense, but I think the mechanic of blood buff should be protecting you from dying instantly, not protecting you from legitimately anything. You can't do anything against me because, oh, that was cute, I'm now full back. You legitimately can't do anything. You just do not get through the wall of HP because you just can't reduce it enough. And the healer just brings you back to 100%. And one of my guildies actually made a great point about it. One of the bigger issues in this game in general, and why I think blood buff is maybe the way it is currently, is that damage output in the game is too high. Like even you said earlier, for example, countering, right? Dude, you don't need defense up on Holden and stuff like that. Like when you do, for example, I had that, I think it was an RTA or something. My opponent has Holden and Tiamat, for example. I do S3 Holden, now boom, the counterattack triggers. I get hit by Holden and Tiamat, and Heinrich is dead from one counter action of these two. Also, these bruiser units hit way too hard. The damage itself is way too high on every front. And that's why probably blood buff is in the game. So what I want to see for this game, in my opinion, is blood buff 100% needs a nerf. It has to be weaker because it's too strong with all the things going on. I mean, it's already a problem. Two things though also to mention about here, sorry, is when you start playing a defensive set on an offensive unit, for example, Lillian plays on blood buff, you should not play that type of defensive set on an offensive unit. Your offensive unit should be a glass cannon, I'm gonna rip off your asshole type of unit, and not, I can't rip your asshole, so I'm playing defensive now, because I can't. I just can't deal with as a single target nuker, right? Not AoE, it's single target even. So I can't even one-shot you to a certain degree. And then the bigger problem is people figured out, now with that set, oh wait, I don't even need that much of HP. You know what? Let me try. Let me stack triple resistance with insight. Now I have like 300% resistance. Like even if you play CC, I know some people. I don't know what the issue is. Some people complain about resistance not being good enough. I think it's like, dude, how often I had like someone I'm playing against. I use Obol with like 280% accuracy, something around these lines. I used AoE stun 3 times in a row. I could not stun that unit whatsoever. So people saying resistance is not, no, I don't agree with that. I think it's pretty well balanced, like in terms of both sides. But I see a problem where you start now, oh, I just only need that set to tank. I don't even need to build my unit tanky anymore. Now I put triple resistance and I can still tank you. This is where I see the problem. And there needs to be adjustments like tone down the entire overall damage in PvP, because the damage is way too high for every single unit, by the way. Like it's not just for one unit or something, it's for every single. Just tone down the HP, but also tone down the blood buff, so you have a more balanced approach where it's like the units don't deal as much as they do right now, while some units that should deal damage do their damage.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. The way we the way the church looks at it, or the way, you know, my guildies look at it, is bloodbath shouldn't change the identity of a unit. Because that's what it is, right? People are putting Hoyans on bloodbath, Yellies on bloodbath, just so that they can tank hits. You're supposed to be a DPS. You're supposed to go in there, do your job, kill things, and then get out. And let my, you know, support DPS clean up for you, right? You're not supposed to sit there, tank hits, and then wrap around and go, surprise, motherfucker, I have my S3 again. Okay? I agree on that point. All right? Lilium's supposed to be a single target DPS that bruises that. If you want to play her bruiser, nothing is stopping you from playing, you know, Keen Eye on her, but you play 1 HP piece on her. You know, instead of playing an attack piece, play HP on her. If you want to play a tanky, just build her more HP, more defense. And the whole true essence is when they think about playing Bloodbath, and then they add on, you know, the whole formula of effective HP on top of it. That's how, you know, you just get this stupid amount of, you know, unkillable units, right? Because right now they are just right now even if you're, you know, not playing EHP, you're playing max crit damage, you have Bloodbath as your backup, so that you can get one more hit. You know, it's so annoying to me, right? Especially in Fearless, when I know that a Lilium for a fact is supposed to die, but because Bloodbath saved them, and I know that I need to get rid of this unit before Lilium presses an S2 again. I go in there, I hit it, I don't kill it, and then Asania on Gigabyte procs and full heals. And you're like, well, I lose. That's the problem. The identity changes for the unit. When you're supposed to be a DPS, you're supposed to do your job, because people are playing DPS on Bloodbath. You're not supposed to tank hits. You're supposed to do damage and then get out. That's how I've been playing, you know, at least aggro in a nutshell. But in this game, you can't do that.
Yeah, and also, I fully understand you. And there are just two things I think about in general is Bloodbath, in my opinion, kills variety in this game from a competitive point of view, because legitimately everybody, dude, I saw people building like 300 plus like Mios or something on Bloodbath, right? And that's another thing which where I see the problem is also like you say like protecting tank player, stuff like that, turn through, etc, yada yada yada. I can see that, but with the shell system and that, it's not like they're slow. It's not like they only have like 200 speed. No, they're like they tank on 300 speed. And that's what actually insane, I think, for this game. Like that a tank player can just super tank play or Bloodbath. You can play Bloodbath and still be fast. And that is what I think is a bit too much. I think this is just generally just too much, and that's why I think this just they need to kind of work on how PvP works when it comes to these.
I just think that Bloodbath definitely needs some kind of adjustment, because it doesn't make sense to me that I can put Bloodbath on anything and everything I want and not worry about the repercussions of it. Because if you know, we're cleavers, right? Yeah. We like playing aggro. If we are choosing to go damage, we are foregoing bulk. We are forgetting bulk. We are like, our bulk is killing you. If you don't touch us, we are good, right? And so if we are building our unit in a way where we are, you know, sacrificing bulk to do damage, there is absolutely no reason for a Plume to be on Bloodbath and 310 right? Because I've seen, you know, Plumes on 310 speed because of, you know, Swift Rush, Swift Smite on them, and then they use Bloodbath as their main set, and then they can still get themselves to 310 speed because she's the fastest unit in the game. And now this Plume is just going to sit there with speed and bulk. You have to choose one. You have to choose one. I have never seen a game, right, where a tank can also be fast.
This is actually you're putting a good point here, maybe also for the viewers watching. Let us also know your general thoughts about the PvP set, but like you don't have to pick your poison with that. The way the game works, you don't even have to pick your poisons. You get the best of every single world, basically. You have the damage because the damage is too high in this game. You get the protection because it's just cracked, and you don't even need to play slow.
Yep.
Right. The only
I'm still in the camp of the way I build my units. It's still old school, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit in this game and go, blood buff is the best set. I'm going to do it on every single unit. All right. I want to play meta. I'm playing meta, but I'm playing meta the way meta is supposed to be played. Am I going against the grain? I definitely am in the game, but in the general sense, I'm not.
Yeah.
You know.
Like the same goes for me. Like personally, I'm also not that of a meta player, because if I was a meta player, I would have built a Holden, Tiamat, Rahu, all the Fushu, like all of them sitting at 1/1/1 for my account. But yeah, I decided to no, I want to do something else. I want to have different playstyle. I want to like try new things, but it cannot be that you have like the because of like a set effect, and then you have all these, and don't forget, it's not just blood buff, it's the combination that you have blood buff, and then you can add Lighthouse, Gigabyte, and Amber into the mix. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They say about, yeah, but blood buff is the protection. Yeah, shit, but like, why do you have Amber with that? Like Amber in itself, I can see like this is like Amber is a legitimately turn 2 protection, and I think Amber is even too strong, because what Amber basically does is once you die, you have no drawback. Once your first life goes away, right? Now you're sitting in, now I'm on blood buff immunity mode, and once I get my turn, I can free as free. And I get a heal on top of that as well. So basically, I come back no matter what you do, unless you, in a matter of like 2 turns, can kill me in that state. I come back full health and ready to shit on you. There's like no drawback to that effect. I think this is also something that needs a nerf. So like
Ember is definitely a very, very strong shell, because I had an ex guildmate, right? He's not playing anymore, but he played season 0. Everything was on Ember. Even his DPS was on the Ember. Right? He was playing Messiah on Ember. Can you imagine killing a Messiah? Then the Messiah comes back and goes, bam, invincibility. That happened so many times. It pissed so many people off, and then we tried to use it in Guild Wars. And people go in there and saw Ember Messiah, and they're like, what the fuck am I doing here? So Ember is a legit strategy. But when you add on, blood buff on top of it, that's when it gets annoying, because you have a second life already, but you're also tanky as shit. So just killing your first life is already a pain in the ass. And then you come back again to fuck me up. Nah, bruh. No thanks. No thank you, bro.
Also, like, it's still funny to me that they still did not fix the entire Amber Tiamat interaction. That should not work at all. If you are sitting in ice state, and you cannot be buffed or debuffed, there should not be a way, a possibility in some shape of way or form. You're not even actively, you're not even active in battle. You're not even active in battle. It's not your turn. That suddenly you just get a free boost. And then ice state is also the way how freeze works in this game is you cannot get passive turn meter boost. It blocks you. But for free, you just get it, and you just proc immediately. This is something like, this is also some bullshit that needs to be fixed. But yeah, this is what I mean. Like, Amber is theoretically in itself your turn 2 comeback mechanic against like Cleave or something like that type of playstyle. And now in the ice state, you should receive damage. But now you add a blood buff to the mix. Now, first of all, you have to get rid of that unit first. And then like it's legitimately almost impossible to kill a unit in ice state before they come back. It's legitimately almost impossible. And then I get like a big heal to that. And there are only 2 units in the game that counterplay let me know if I'm missing someone, but that can counterplay Amber, and that is Heinrich and Mio. Those are the only 2 units that have AoE wound. Correct me if I'm wrong with that. I know Mizuki has it on S1, but like in terms of AoE, when you encounter like triple or quadruple Amber or something, those are the only 2 units.
Yeah.
Then you have like pre-bans and stuff. So how do you deal with that?
I agree. But I have not played far enough where everyone just is on Amber, because we have new shells now.
Yeah.
And, you know, Artisan and Gigabyte are arguably the best shells that we have right now for supports. And so a lot of people are just putting them on putting things on Gigabyte, putting things on Artisan, sometimes Lighthouse. And so that's why Amber doesn't get a lot of love. But that's also because
in Etheria you see a lot of Amber. There you
and Guild Wars as well. You see Amber Holdens everywhere.
Yeah. But that's also
because they are protected by Bloodbath. Imagine if you don't have Bloodbath. Then people will think, Amber is a lot better.
Yeah. And it's still viable, like not like still viable, it is extremely viable, because that is now I'm playing that, I play that piece because to like counter certain playstyles or whatever, right? But the combination of those things are too strong, and then you add the healers, you add the bloodbath, all these, or let's put it this way, you have bloodbath and then you add all the other things we just discussed, right? It's too much. It's just too much. And just like about all the things we just discussed, that alone should just prove how superior Bruiser actually is compared to these other playstyles, if you think about it.
Yeah, look, as humans, the grass is always greener on the other side, bro. The grass is always greener on the other side. You can be playing Bruiser, but you're like, nah. Aggro's too OP, got enough.
Yeah.
But then as the aggro player, we're like, nah, Bruiser is way too OP, got enough.
Always.
And then if you're the CC player, you're like, nah, I don't have enough speed. You gotta ban Lily, you gotta ban, you gotta cut the speed on Plume. That's too fast now. Now I can't CC them properly.
Yeah.
The guy's always going on the other side, but you don't understand from the perspective of that player's playstyle itself. Like, for example, for a fact that, higher resistance is fucking annoying as shit.
Yeah.
Because you can't land your damn oboe stun. Yeah. But then on the opposite side, they're like, nah, oboe's too OP, fuck him. Ban the bastard. That's just human nature.
Yeah. Okay, then just to get to the last finishing points, we're almost 2 hours into this, crazy. But yeah, general, I mean, I can already tell like comments coming in with the whole Bloodbath discussion, but like, what kind of improvements and balance suggestions do you have? Like, I already said a lot of different things. In my opinion, I don't want to add too much, but what kind of improvements or balance adjustments in general in the whole PvP topic or PvP sentiment do you want to see going into the next season of RTA? Also, it could be Esper buffs stuff, like also include everything we want to see.
I definitely want to see some kind of, variety in the game. All right. And that can only be done if, Bloodbath is, touched in some way. Right. It doesn't need to lose its identity as, the Bloodbath set, but you need to let other sets shine. Because right now, the only reason for you to put a unit on speed set is if you're trying to go super damn fast, right? On a unit that is not fast to begin with, okay? And if you do that, you're just going to lose to a whole bunch of Bloodbath units. Because it makes no sense to me that now everyone is playing Oboe Casio on Bloodbath. Why the fuck why is this CC unit still here? It's supposed to, have high accuracy so that it can land its shit, strip your debuffs, control you, cycle faster. Now these bruiser fuckers are going, I will let you do whatever you want with me. You can't kill me anyway. My son here is just going to full heal me. And this full shield is just going to give me turn meter, the speed. And so I can just sit here and then just cast you S1 sleep 2 turns. All right, you are not moving now. You can hit me, try and kill me. Oh wait, you need to hit full shield because if you hit me, I get turn meter. You can't kill me. Go to sleep now. You go to sleep. You get stunned. Everyone gets stunned. Everyone gets asleep. I win the game. Oh, can't kill me. That's a damn shame, isn't it? That's got to change, okay? There's no fucking way you can just play a CC unit who is supposed to be fast and high accuracy on fucking Bloodbath, and then have accuracy, have speed on top of that, that is, respectable speed, and be tanky. No. So we do need some variety here. And if you want to promote people to actually go farm Terramaton, right? You cannot have Bloodbath, because everyone's just gonna go to Aurora, or if they're a Cleaver, they'll just go to Dome. There's no reason for you to go to, Terramaton to farm Keen Eye, to farm Fury Edges, when, Momentum is strictly better already because you're playing the CC playstyle. And Bloodbath, you can just build things on damage and Bloodbath, and just, raw dog the Bloodbath set and put them on, Law of Silence, and then go, haha, I just use Keen Eye because I only need that one little fucking piece for the crit damage, and I'll just get crit damage, and that's it. So we need more variety.
Yeah, especially with Terramaton right now. The only way we are currently farming Terramaton is waiting for the module event where we can just craft our Keen Eye pieces, or we now go into the module essence shop and get our Fury Edge piece there.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's literally no more reason for you to farm Terramaton, because now you just get your Fury Edges off the module shop.
Yeah.
Right. But if you want to, promote yourself using, Wellspring, Cure, Battle Will, these kind of, play styles, it's very viable still, because an 80k HP Fushu, who is not on Bloodbath, right? Full HP Wellspring, Cure, Evil Guard, okay? An 80k HP Fushu on a max S2 can one-shot you if you didn't know, because that thing hits real fucking hard, bro.
Dude,
but we can't do that.
Yeah.
We can't do that because everyone plays Bloodbath.
True. Like at this point, I would 100% love to see. I don't know if you agree or disagree. Let me know. I would actually at this point, if they introduce new modules to this game, right, with new set effects or something, at this point, I would actually love to see like that Summoner's War Violent set with a 20% proc chance.
Bro, you're crazy. Nah.
But
no, we already had Astro in this fight. Okay.
Yeah, but that was
violence.
Yeah, but that was useless. Okay. Let's be honest there.
But that is already RNG. We don't want to add RNG into the game. I think we already have enough RNG in this game. So
I think the game would be a lot healthier if we had Violent instead of Bloodbath.
You think so?
100%. Because that would be funny at least. Because of course, if the enemy procs, you would be mad. But if you get the procs, you would be laughing. It would be the best day of your life. You know what I mean? That type. with Bloodbath, you just feel miserable no matter what. You just feel miserable no matter what. With that, you have at least excitement. And I'm telling you something. I know a lot of people back then complained, but that set is the reason why Summoners War 11 years later is still thriving. Because that set exists. It spices up things. It's just a thing. I personally would love to see it. And then just make it in a way that you cannot, you know what, at this point, add it and make a new one. 15 set bonus. So you cannot combo, you can't do 12-12 anymore. But you can do now 15. So you have to use 4 pieces, and then you can do 6.
That was probably something, way down the line. Way down the line. That will actually come, I'm not gonna lie. I think that set will actually come when they run out of fucking ideas. Because right now, a lot of the stuff that we have is actually very new. Battle Wheel, all right, that's been around in games before. Fair enough. Keen Eye, Fury, Momentum, Bloodbath, they're all very fresh. They're very fresh. Strive is also pretty fresh. All of these sets are nice, right? It gives the identity of, Etheria Restart as a different PvP game. Because there's so many sets that are really different from, other games.
No, Strive is not new. Strive existed in different games as well. In Summoners War, there's, for example, Nemesis does the same thing. You touch me, I get speed boost.
We never had that in these episodes, so I didn't know.
Okay. Yeah, but that exists.
It made me feel like, it's new, it's fresh.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
An iteration of other things. So way down the line, when, they've ran out of ideas, probably this will come into the game. But at that point, when that comes into the game, that's probably the weakest set of them all.
Yeah, who knows really? But the way I think they try to tackle the balancing first is by adding more modules. I think instead of adding shells. I think they try to balance the meta by just adding new shells to the game instead of adding new modules to the game.
Yeah, they already did that with, you know, like different combinations that, you know, you never was able to do before. Now you can, and that's a good thing, right? And I don't know if you noticed this, but nothing in Chloros has double speed bulwark.
Wait, what? Double speed bulwark? Who? The dungeon boss. The dungeon boss has double.
All the shells,
Yeah.
all the shells. There is no such thing as, you know, double speed with a bulwark set in it. There is no Reaper Step, no Ouroboros, no Sword 7, no Tiger Yin has that. So that's nice. So if you want double speed bulwark, go to Wrangle, go and farm your codexes, or go to your Sharon and go farm up your Dark Moons.
Yeah. Yeah, so
this is nice.
Yeah. It's a little bit more balanced overall. So, and also, just so we get to the finishing touch of this as well, what kind of in terms of balance changes would you like to see in terms of units? What kind of buffs would you like to see?
I don't know yet. If they're gonna nerf blood buff at some point, then they also have to balance out the damage output, which you already mentioned. But I don't know how they're going to do that, because they already tried to answer bloodbath by giving Rahu and Holden more damage. And so I don't know how they're going to do that. I would rather be surprised. And then from there, I will decide when I look at the patch notes, at the balance changes. If I look at it and I go, I've seen this before, this is not good, I will say something. Yeah. But if I see it and I'd be like, all right, this makes sense, then we'll go from there. Because during the beta, when, you know, Sanya used to be able to still purify and cleanse and heal, even though she was stunned. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know. I think I didn't play that.
They balance patched that to make sure that she couldn't do that when she's stunned or incapacitated, because there was no reason to bring any other Sanya, because she doesn't have to take a turn. She can be stunned, but she'll still purify and heal. Right? That is power creep already. You know? Because if an SR unit is already doing that, and right? So nothing like that makes sense. Nothing like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Buffing like that also makes sense to me. But if it's something ridiculous, then we have a problem.
Dude, I'm really curious about what they will do with balancing, like what kind of buffs or nerf. I don't think they will nerf any units. I don't think they're gonna do that, actually. But I'm curious what they will decide to buff, because it was actually, I don't know how it was mind-blowing to me. It was actually like mind-blowing to me. They decided to buff Holden and Rahu. Like, what kind of crack did you smoke that you came to the conclusion that one of the most used units in RTA with one of the highest win rates in RTA needs a buff? It made no sense whatsoever. Not at all, right?
Yeah.
But
I think that they were just trying to answer bloodbath, right? Because they already saw us going into bloodbath, going into bruiser versus bruiser matchup, and they didn't want to hear the 20-minute matches. So they were like, you know what? The two best bruisers, give them more damage.
The biggest offenders of buff, you give them. Yeah, that was just the way. Like in terms of buffs, what I would like to see from a unit perspective, right? I think on my personal list for buffs are Nahor would be one buff. The buff I want to see on Nahor is just a buff to his S3, make his single hit S3 to a 2-hit S3. That's what I said. Let him hit twice. Because then it just turns more consistent, because there's resistance in this game. We have 10% innate resistance, and we all know that a single hit is just inconsistent as hell in this game. That's why make a 2-hit S3. That's it for him. Nothing else needs to be changed. Born, I think, needs a buff. I don't know what type of buff. Maybe just a damage buff is enough for him. He needs a buff, in my opinion. But it's also a fine balance. He cannot get too strong, because of the way he works with his tankiness. It could be very, like, he could turn very fast into the most broken unit in the game when he gets buffed too much. But I would like to see a slight buff to him as well. I think Leon deserves a buff, because we do not really have like these red DPS that are usable, let's be honest here for a second, in this game. So I would like to see a Leon buff. I would also like to see a Chloros buff, because he could potentially be like some sort of single target DPS red nuker in PvP. and is just a little bit underwhelming. And we had this discussion the other day. I think what could be an interesting buff for him is, for example, his S3 is when you kill with his S3, it has an anti-res effect, right? What you could instead make anti-res a passive ability for him, that as long as he's on the battlefield, when something dies on the opponent team, cannot be resed. That would make him, I think, an interesting unit for PvP. And I only am mentioning SSR units. I don't want to mention SR units here because I think a lot of them are really, really strong, at least for those that are used. I feel like the only one which needs slight nerf is Zanya, maybe remove her cleanse. But what else is there? I think there was one other SSR unit I thought like needs just a slight buff because it was just underwhelming, but Zyada, buff Zyada. Because let's be honest, Zyada, in my opinion, if we take Revelation and remove Revelation from the game, Zyada is legitimately, in my opinion, the worst SSR in the entire game. Without Revelation...
I don't agree. I'm killing people with Zyada in RTA.
Do you use Revelation on her? Or what shell do you use?
I use Law of Silence.
You use Law of Silence. You gotta send me the secret footage, but my personal opinion is Zyada needs a buff. I think she's a little bit too weak and underwhelming compared to all the other options we have in the game.
I mean, the way I play Zyada, by the time she gets a turn 1, she's already 3 ops. So, you are dead. I don't care if your name's Holden. You're dying. So that's just me. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That may be just me. But I think that Zyada is amazing already. Right? You just have to play her right in the right stuff. But that's also because I'm not a cleaver. So I don't just go straight for damage. I play more standard. I play towards your draft. And so when you let a Zyada through, chances are I am already ruining you because she is, you know, your ban in 4-5. And you chose to ban 5 and not 4. So you disrespected her to begin with, so you lose.
Interesting.
Right? That's how I play Zyada.
You need to
definitely agree that we need red. We definitely need red DPSs. Because the meta is very green. Rahu, Sanya, Fushu, they're very green. You can't bring a Borg into that. Borgni will just die. You can't bring that. You can't bring a Tiamat into that. Rahu will just kill it.
And you know what the problem is? I think the next RGB banners is coming. I think it's even double green.
I hope it's red. I really fucking hope it's red.
Yeah.
Because we've had blue and greens only.
Yeah, I think because from the leaks, it was supposed to be green, now double green coming next up. And I feel like, dude, we already have so much green. We kind of have to counter that with reds because it's getting a little bit dangerous now, I would say. And
the only red you can really play is Veronica and Holden.
Yeah.
The only reds you can really play.
Yeah.
There's no DPS.
Yeah.
There's no DPS. So we need a DPS that, you know, has the variety. So if you pick a Sanya Fu, at least I have a red DPS that can go, okay.
Yeah.
Here's my answer.
But that's
right.
just...
Instead of going, my answer is Holden. The answer is really not Holden sometimes. Because you're just gonna eat a Tiamat in your face on 3 and you're...
Yeah. I can follow. I also agree. Like, I think, like, logically, double red RGB banner would be the most sensical coming up next. If double green comes up, oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't need to be double green. It just needs to be... I know it doesn't need to be double red. It just needs to be red. There needs to be a red somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like the reason why I feel like double green or something or double red is because of now which we had with Nymphonial and Batsby, right? Because it had kind of a theme. You had the bluish theme with them, right? That whole blue unit, blue style. She's the boss of him and stuff like that. It had an entire theme. So that's why I feel like moving forward till we get that like 100 animus threshold, they might want to continue that theme of having like these... No, red is coming with this reddish theme, or this double green coming with that theme or something, you know? So this is why I'm assuming. Could also be like that they mix it up again, but who knows?
Yeah. I mean, we had Fu Shiu and Nahor, which was blue and green.
Yeah.
And then we had Batsby and Nymphoni, which was double blue. So we definitely need a red somewhere.
Yeah.
100%.
For sure. Okay, and then last point of this agenda, and then we are done with this episode, is: do you think the game is in a healthy state right now? Reasons
I
for
think
yes
the game
and
is.
no and
I
stuff
think
like
the
that.
game is too young. So I think it's still too young, and so because the game is still too young, there is a lot of room for improvement. Lots of room for improvement.
Mhm.
And so I don't want to knock too soon. I also don't want to knock too aggressively.
Mhm.
I want to see the direction the developers will take themselves first. Okay? Because they already have a feedback thread and you already know that I'll make this out there, right? They will say anything and everything just to, say stuff. I want to see how they sift through this information and, come back with, a response. I want to leave it up to them. The game is still only 4 months old. We're not even half a year yet, right? And then by the time, China comes in, you all know that Chinese players are, the most vocal ones. If they don't like something and this is shit, they will bring riot trucks on your ass.
Mhm.
They will bring riot trucks, and this game is local to them. So,
Mhm.
we have to see. We have to see. At the end of the day, everything that has happened in the game has, gone in the right direction.
Mhm.
Problem fixed. Maybe not immediately, but it gets fixed eventually.
Mhm.
Okay? If they keep up this pace, I don't see a problem with the game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think they just need to listen to the feedback that we are providing to them. I mean, with like, oh, you want to advertise the game, you want to get more, you want to make more money, add the skins. Then, the Yelly is coming, right, as the first true skin instead of the recolors and stuff. So those are, I mean, in terms of feedback and stuff like that. But overall, I share the sentiment of, in my opinion, it is in a healthy state, or it is, in my opinion, more healthy than it is unhealthy state, because when I look at the game where it was in patch day 1, patch 0.4 and we're now heading to patch 1.0, right?
Yeah.
A lot of things changed. And even also where I had the topic earlier where I told you, where I asked you about your opinion with the Plume P2 situation. I made a video about it and complained about it right off the gate because of PTSD from dislike and stuff like that. They also changed it because I didn't want to have a situation where they release a broken bruiser and that broken bruiser has now 10% counter chance. Dude, I don't want to see that. You don't want to have that. Or like 5% speed increases. Also don't want to have that type of thing. That's why there has to be a red line, and there you have to be also, in my opinion, harsh with them right off the gate, because you really have to tell them, no, you're not allowed to cross the line. Don't start that, because I know what else is coming afterwards. So straight up, no. But yeah, the thing is, they listen to the feedback we're providing. They change a lot of things turned better, and this is what I also talk about, because I saw different games. I'm providing feedback. We're telling them this needs to be improved, this needs to be improved, that needs to be add something new to the game. And looking at the patch notes, they did these stuff, because it's fine if they don't communicate when I see it in the patch notes, because in my opinion, when it comes to gacha games, the patch notes are like the holy grail. That is basically the law, right? That is the law, because what is in the patch notes, it becomes also reality. Not the blah blah blah, yeah, we're doing that, that is just blah blah blah. When I see it in the patch note, then it actually becomes reality, right? Because I know this is now coming with the next update. So yeah, but I'm looking at that and I see always these little improvements. So I actively see them working and trying to make the game better. So this is a sign for me that's why I'm chill and I'm good. I'm like, because I'm seeing they're trying to make it better, they're trying to improve. It's not the fastest, but it is a steady progress. It would have been different if I say complain, and then you look at the patch notes and stuff like that and you see nothing every single time, patch after patch after patch, nothing. This is where I'm getting frustrated, and this is where I'm saying like, oh, we will probably not get anywhere. But because I see these steady improvements, I think this is a good sign for the time being, and that's why I think it's more in a healthy state than unhealthy state.
We never asked for a 4x, we got a 4x.
Yeah, true. Never asked for that, we got it. And I'm not gonna lie, everybody likes it. Saves us time. Saves us time. And And also, I'm not sure. Do you think we get a 2x or 4x event next weekend? I feel like either we get one right before CN. Also, my personal opinion.
They said it'll be 4 to 6 weeks. That's the time span between when they will drop the 2x in between. 4 to 6 weeks. I'm not fast. I know that we're getting one sometime. And I don't know. I just have this internal clock gut. Because that was what happened with the last one.
Yeah.
I just woke up one day and I just go to guild chat. I was like, guys, I have a strong feeling we're gonna get a 2x very shortly. Start saving.
Yeah.
And then immediately the next day, hey, Blessings Galore event coming this weekend. Get ready. I was like, I fucking said it. I fucking said it.
Yeah, I think we will be getting the announcement when tomorrow. If it's next weekend, then we will get it tomorrow because 5 days ahead. But my opinion is there's one of two things now. That's why I'm asking. I think either we get it this weekend, or next weekend, we will be getting 2x event right before CN and stuff launches, because then theoretically when CN launches, we should get 2x for X event, but it doesn't align with CN because they just started the game. They cannot make use of that basically. So either one of two things, either we might get it next weekend, or
I heard
that
the CN server is getting 2x event for a whole month.
Yeah. That's what I read. Like you can spend 1,000 stamina on let's say XP.
Oh, no, that's for returning players.
Ah.
Returning players will get 2x for your first 1,000 stamina. It's 2x. But if you want to spend more than 1,000, then it will be a normal rate.
Okay.
That's for returning players. I'm saying the CN global launch, they're gonna get it for a month so that they can play catch up.
Oh, that's crazy. Actually, that's crazy. Yeah. Then
so it might link up with us. It might link up with us where we get 3 days, but then ours will end, but theirs will continue.
Yeah.
Then again, they're also starting with no fucking stamina pot, bro.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but
you just have a max refresh.
But you also don't know what kind of packs release when the game launches, right? Maybe they add now that level 55 to level 100 packs that were missing in the game.
Oh, trust me, if it's fucking ridiculous, we're gonna hear it because some people are already gonna go to the CN server to just test it out.
Yeah, we will see. But yeah, I think that we are done with this episode. All the points we discussed, almost 2.5 hours. Crazy. But I always thought I don't want to limit it to any certain time frame. Just make it as interactive as possible and just make it natural, and just want to talk about open end more or less. But yeah, any closing things you want to say or something we didn't discuss?
No
chance.
Not really. Just remember, subscribe to M if you guys haven't subscribed. Glad you guys watched this long podcast. Hear our unfiltered opinions. That's about it.
Okay. Thank you, Sterbbys, for that one. And also, always, because I'm so bad with this type of things, good thing that you said it. I will link Sterbbys channel in the description down below. I'm not good with these things, so I mention it now at the end and not at the beginning. Sorry for that one. But he will be his channel will be linked in the description down below. If you didn't subscribe to him as well. He does a lot of content, helps a lot of new players, has a lot of insight, PvP, even PvE, even though he doesn't like it, he doesn't know how the stuff works. So go check him out as well, guys. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and see you with the next one. Deuces.